San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
San Diego, and a happy Friday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Live and local, just not local for me today presently, as I am in my hotel room up in Walnut Creek with the Cathedral Catholic Dons as we get ready to take on De La Salle coming up later on tonight. So some high school football tonight, and we'll talk more high school football later on in the show. We'll talk some NFL, we'll talk some college football, in the later 2 hours of this particular show. But we're going to talk more about the Padres, and obviously what was yesterday a very frustrating game, and what yesterday was in terms of like how the game finished, the Xander Bogaerts, call at the end of the game, the lack of offense that the Padres displayed for the first 8 innings of that game, the Chris Paul solo shot by Jackson Merrill there in the 9th inning, give you a little bit of hope there, and then the fight after the fact, with the umpires leaving and the video that surfaced on social media with the Padres being, that was kind of the most fight we saw in them in the last 2 months, was right there with the umpires. It would have been nice if they had that a little bit more in the last 2 months of the season, but we have a lot to break down, obviously, with the Padres. Let's talk about overall the season in a nutshell. I think it's disappointing. I think, making the playoffs, it's hard to say that the season was a complete failure, but you look at what this Padres team was expected to do, the start to the season that they had, the money that they have spent on this team, the trade deadline that they had. And I know some things didn't go their way. Not having Ramon Laureano really hurt them, I think, in this particular postseason. But the reality is, the expectations are higher now for this club than they were in 2019 and 2020 when the Padres hadn't made the playoffs that many times. Before 2020, the Padres had made the playoffs 5 times in their history. They've played, 50-something seasons now in San Diego? And they've made the playoffs, 5 times before 2020. They've now made it 4 out of the last 6 years. But the thing is, it's not, to me, I think the standard has changed for the Padres where you are not just trying to make the playoffs anymore. You're trying to advance in the playoffs. And here's the thing. The Padres have gone backwards every year. 2022 went to the NLCS. Now, they had the huge collapse in 2023. 2024, lost in the divisional series. 2025, lost in the wild card series. We're not going in the right direction right here when it comes to the Padres in terms of their overall improvement or overall kind of appearance to making a run at a World Series. Now, there's a lot to break down from this game and this particular team, and we're gonna dive into the ins and outs of that. I want to hear from you Padres fans today. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. And people in the chat just say outrageous things too. Can't punt on a Manny Machado prime year, aged very poorly. No, it didn't. Punting on any of those seasons is a quitter attitude, and that's a loser attitude, and that's how you find yourself being and I saw this on social media, the Blue Padres. I think that's the best way to describe it. I think A.J. Preller's done a great job in assembling this team. I think the team that he assembled here was good enough to win. And I think if you don't give this guy a contract extension, I think you are going to turn back into the Blue Padres. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's exactly what's going to be the case if you don't extend A.J. Preller. You can say everything you want. And we've been critical about him. But what he has done in the last 2 to 3 years is actually been a really good job for considering the circumstances. A lot of the signings that he had and like the Jake Cronenworth contract. I mean, it's not necessarily, that wasn't really a AJ Preller move. You look at the way the series played out. I mean, look at the deadline. You can't assume that, Darvish was going to just fall apart. You couldn't assume that Michael King was just never going to come back to what you thought he was going to be, or Dylan. I mean, it's not like they didn't try to address the starting pitching, but I'm going to tell you right now, the starting pitching wasn't the problem. The starting pitching wasn't the problem. The offense was the problem. I mean, look at the top three hitters in the order. They were awful in the postseason. Manny Machado had one at-bat where he hit the home run. He had one at-bat where he hit the home run to really save the season for the Padres. But the top three guys in the order didn't get the job done. I tweeted it out yesterday, and this is my overall synopsis. I did it in a quick format on Twitter. Freddie Fermin balled out in the postseason. Freddie Fermin, gritty, he's a dog. When we talk about grit squad, right? Freddie Fermin fits the grit squad. I mean, this guy's a dog. He showed it all playoffs. And you know what? Last at bat, I mean, it's kind of a lot to ask of him when the offense didn't do anything. That guy showed up for the playoffs. Jackson Merrill is young and he's still hungry. Despite getting a contract that he has, he took less money. That guy's still hungry. He's gritty. He's a dog. He went out there and performed like one. In the playoffs. Xander Bogaerts. Everybody wanted to cut Xander Bogaerts. I'm going to tell you right now, Xander Bogaerts played his ass off in the playoffs. He did. He played his ass off in the playoffs. Made great plays at shortstop. Came through offensively in all three games. Contributed. Xander Bogaerts showed up for the postseason. Out of those players, those three players on the roster, that was about it offensively. Fernando did not show up in the postseason. I mean, they went through on MLB Network all of the, this is the greatest, he's been the greatest in the playoffs, and his OPS plus is this, and he's just shy. I mean, he just did not have the luster of Fernando all season. And the thing, I can't blame him on the leadoff position on that. I think him batting leadoff for what he is at his best is probably the best for the Padres. I like the way he was a little bit more patient this year, but you can't take away what makes him good in terms of like his pop. And he still has pop. I mean, watch this guy. Go watch him hit at batting practice. I mean, the guy's putting the ball almost to the video board. It's not like he doesn't have pop, okay? Just because he's not doing it in games. And I hate the whole steroid. No, he hasn't been the same since the steroids. He was fine last year. But again, it wasn't just him. I mean, the entire approach for the Padres had been so much like contact, right? Just contact and not necessarily, trying to hit for pop and hit the gaps and have high slug. I mean, I saw something last night about, the teams with the least amount of barreled baseballs. It's like the Reds, the Brewers, the Padres, and I think it was like the Red Sox. And 3 of those 4 teams have already been eliminated, and the Brewers might get eliminated in this next series. You never know. But overall, I mean, you look at the way that the offense played in the postseason, it was lackluster. And I wasn't too impressed with the Cubs either. I mean, the Padres gave the Cubs a lot. They had 2 bad pitches from Pivetta, and Yu Darvish he showed his age yesterday. I mean, he showed his age yesterday. I don't know how you can go about having Yu Darvish and maybe an offseason. I mean, that looked like the last time we will see Yu Darvish pitch. And people are like, why would he turn down the money? Guys, he requested to not get paid last year when he went on a leave of absence. I mean, that's not like a far-fetched conversation that Yu Darvish might just retire. I mean, he was disappointing yesterday. He ran into some trouble. I mean, they ambushed him, and it wasn't very good. But you look at the way that game was, and we're going to dive deeper into Game 3 But I look at how the season played out, and it wasn't really an enjoyable season. It wasn't the fun. Like, there was no times where they went on like a huge run and they looked really legit. Okay, at the beginning of the season, they went 14-3. Most of that team got cut or got DFA'd or wasn't part of the team or honestly was getting a lot of complaints about the roster at that point in time anyway. It's a disappointing season, I think. I think it's disappointing the way this season ended, knowing what they had, knowing that they had the ability to go on a run. I don't think they had a chance to win a World Series as much as they did last year. I mean, last year's team was a lot better. Last year's team was definitely more, I would say, gritty. I thought last year's team was, a team that had a great opportunity to win a World Series. And, as Greg Amsinger said on our show a couple of days ago, and everybody said it, that series against the Dodgers seemed like more like a World Series than the Yankees and the Dodgers last year. But I don't know how you can view this season as anything more than disappointing if you're a Padres fan. And the thing is I think the front office did their job. I think A.J. Preller did his job. I don't know how many times we have to fire coaches on this particular staff. It comes down to the players. And the star players that are under big contracts, with the exception of maybe, Xander Bogaerts and Jackson, they did not perform. They just flat out did not perform. Did not perform. And I felt good going into yesterday's game. I thought the way that they had played early and had opportunities, but all of the failures of this season, all of the problems that we saw and we continued to talk about hurt the Padres in the playoffs. Not being able to get clutch hits with runners in scoring position. Not having the superstar. I mean, Jake Cronenworth's under contract for a long time. He was almost worthless in this series. I mean, almost worthless. I don't think he got a single hit. I mean, he was terrible. And you're getting you're giving that guy $12 million a year. I mean, it wasn't very good. I mean, you could talk, and some people like Luis Arraez, some people don't. I thought that the way people handled we saw the video of him post-game, and Luis is a nice guy. And he wanted to say thank you to the Padres fans. I thought like saying F you in the comments is way too far. It's way too far. I mean, I understand. And I get both sides of it. I mean, if you want to be a fan base that holds people accountable like all the other fan bases, I get it. But at the same time, I mean, the FU things were just kind of ridiculous. And I'm going to be honest with you on that play that he had. It looks bad on TV. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I hit a seed at shortstop and it's right at the guy, I'm going to pause coming out of the box. It's a natural reaction. You get frustrated. He probably paused a little bit too much. But I'm going to pause a little bit, and then I don't necessarily know. Even if he didn't pause as much, he hit a seed at shortstop. Every one of you that says I would have been sprinting out of the box is a liar. There's no way you would have been sprinting out of the box. There's nobody on this team, on this Padres team, would have sprinted out of the box. He hit a seed right at the guy that has made every single play, drops it. It's like you pause for a second, and then you start to keep going again. He was never going to beat that out anyway. It'd be different if it was a ground ball. But I think it's a disappointing season for what this team was able to accomplish and how good that they were. And I said this too, like making the playoffs is a good accomplishment because there's not a lot of teams that make the playoffs. But I will say this. I said on the roundtable, to me, this team should have made the NLCS with the players that they had. They had a good path in front of them. They could have played better. I mean, the players needed to play better, and they didn't. They dropped the ball. And you finally saw some life there in the ninth inning, but they had 8 innings before that, and a lot of at-bats that were just given away that could have been a lot better. I thought the pitching staff was outstanding. The bullpen was great. I mean, the bullpen played their ass off, too. Mason Miller's he was a dog. Adrian Morejon, dog. Robert Suarez, he was okay. He gives up that bomb right there. It makes it 3-0. But the reality is, I don't know how anybody, and we brought this up, I don't know how anybody can sit there and tell me that Mason Miller is not better than Robert Suarez. I couldn't believe that when we brought that up 3 weeks ago. I don't know how you can watch those performances and with a straight face tell me I'd take Robert Suarez over Mason Miller. He's just so different. Mason Miller's unhittable. Robert Suarez is hard contact after hard contact after hard contact. And he's going to opt out, and that's going to save the Padres a lot of money. It's going to be great. But all of the problems laid out. You look at the top 3 guys in the order. I mentioned at the beginning part of this show. I don't know how many times we had to continue to say batting Luis Ariz second doesn't make a lot of sense. Fernando gets 0 protection. It doesn't do anything for us. And it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. And what did the top of the order? Nothing. They did nothing. Padres finished 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They scored just 5 runs total in the series. Echoing last year's offensive collapse, 2 straight shutouts to the Dodgers. They almost got shut out again yesterday if it wasn't for Jackson Merrill. But I don't know. We're going to talk about how this team plays about. And we're going to recap Game 3 when we come back. But again, the players did not perform, and it's disappointing. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to talk about how yesterday's game played out, where it went wrong for the Padres. We're going to get Frank involved, see what his perspective was of the game yesterday, and we are going to be on our way here as we get to the post-mortem show here on the Braden Surprenant show. We'll talk a little bit about the positivity, too. There was a lot of bright spots for this team as well. But we want to continue the conversation when we come back on the Braden Surprenant show, standing somewhat Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. A new sponsor for us on the hotline. We will be using that a little bit later when Drake Hills joins the show at 1:35. Gets you excited for San Diego FC as they get ready for playoff time here near the end of October. So we do have more playoff sports here in San Diego. Should be good. We'll also have Skyler on at 12:35, so we can talk some college football. We're going to try to flip it a little bit, take your minds off baseball a little bit in the second half. But this first couple hours, we're talking all Padres. We're talking all Padres. I mean, we could talk about yesterday's game. I mean, there's a lot of places where yesterday's game went wrong. And I have there's a lot of questions, I think, from how the game was managed and where everything is. And here's my thing. You could blame like Victor Rodriguez as much as you want. And I honestly think the approach is a little bit off. At the beginning of the season, I liked it. I said, like, finding different ways to win games is great. But that was when they were also hitting for power. I mean, you still have to hit for power. Like, just being a contact team is not great. But when you're a team that can put the ball into the gaps, hit the ball over the fence, it's a nice element to be able to put the ball in play and play a little small ball. You have to be able to do both. When you could do multiple things, it makes you a well-rounded offense. Unfortunately, the Padres only did the small ball aspect. You need to have slugging. So at the beginning of the season, when I said, like, hey, Victor Rodriguez is doing a great job, they were slugging and they were playing a little small ball. Now they're just like, all right, we're just going to bunt and get guys over and we're going to be contact. And I think, and I don't know how the approach was, but it's interesting to see how all of these players that they signed just magically just became guys that could not put the ball over the fence and guys that could not slug. I mean, they went in and got guys that could slug. Still, no slugging for this team. It's just it's hard. It was hard to watch. And here's the thing. Like Fernando, it was not that, statistically, it's not going to be that bad of a season. He played great defense, but like his moping around and everything for the whole year is tough to watch. And I texted this to one of my friends. I was like, for a guy that was so fun to watch, like he was must-watch television when he first came up with all the plays that he made and the ability that he had. I mean, up until last year, too. Even last year, he was like fun to watch. Guy was electric. As the kids say, and I'm surrounded by 68, 16 to 18-year-olds on this trip. The aura of this guy was incredible. He went from one of the guys you have to stop what you're doing to watch him hit to a guy that it's not even fun watching him play anymore. It's not. It's not fun watching him play. I mean, his at-bats in this series were awful. They were awful at-bats. Complete, awful, insert your own word here. They were terrible at-bats. I mean, he was like, looked like he was already ready to move on to the off season with some of his at-bats. Again, they could say what they want. And this team does like to say about like grit and all that other stuff. We are an actions over words show on this show. And the actions of him and his body language was not very good. It wasn't very good. Now, I don't think that means it's over for him. And I don't think you should trade him. I mean, people just like to do extreme stuff to just see if anybody will listen to them. But he needs to have a good offseason, and he needs to figure out whatever is making him not the player that he was, if it's off the field or if it's on the field. I mean, he just needs to be a little bit better. It was tough to watch. Watching Fernando play. It was tough to watch. But I still think he has the ability to be the guy. I'm not giving up on him. And you have him under contract for a long time. I think trading him away would be catastrophically bad. The disappointing thing is Fernando is a way better player than what he showed in the kind of second half of the season. It's a way better player than that. And that's what makes it frustrating. And he's got the ability to do it. And when he talked to his dad, he started to find it again. But I also think a little bit had to be in the play of he's not protected with Luis Arraez batting behind him. He's not protected with Luis Arraez batting behind him. But it was tough to watch him play. It was. It was hard. It was hard to watch him play because that he's been so much better. And you've seen him when he is like energetic and happy and everything's going well. But he wasn't protected with Luis Arraez batting. Nobody's afraid of Arraez. They're not. And I like Luis Arraez. I think he's a good player. I think his skills you can benefit from. I don't think it's in the number 2 spot in the order. I really don't. We've said that all year. And I'm interested to see what the market is like for Luis Arraez because the amount of money that they expected him to get, I don't know what team is going to give him that kind of money. I thought he played really great defensively at first. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Luis Arraez played really good at first base. I thought he did. I thought he played really good at first base in the playoffs. I mean, he was a guy that's like you want to have him DH because he can't play DH. He looked really good at first base on defense. But I don't know if he's worth like $15 to $18 million a year. I don't see how many teams would value that. He's not very fast on the bases. I mean, he's kind of one-dimensional at the plate. He puts the ball in play, grinds out at bats. But aside from that, like that's not, to me, you can get that out of younger players. I don't think you need to get that out of a guy that's about close to 30. I think he's 28 right now, close to 30, and his metrics are starting to go down. I don't see it. So, I mean, we'll see where it ends up in the offseason. There's a lot of things that need to be talked about in the offseason, but, that was a question yesterday. The Michael King situation yesterday was just, it was head-scratching. I mean, he had to be like Elo said this earlier in the week, he just didn't believe that Michael King was really healthy or ready to go. I'm going to tell you right now, that 4th inning, he looked legit. I mean, he looked lights out in that 4th inning or whenever he came in to pitch. And you watch him pitch. I mean, the way that he pitched in that game, it's like, what were they saving him for? Unless they didn't think he was healthy enough to continue. I mean, that would be the only thing as I try to give, I try to give the benefit of the doubt for some of these decisions. But to me, it's like the way King pitched yesterday, why didn't they start King? It's hindsight, right? Why didn't they start King? I didn't know. Why didn't they let him go an extra inning? They let Suarez go an extra inning. Suarez gave up a home run going his second time through, his second inning. I don't know why they didn't do that with Michael King. I thought that was interesting. And the other one, too, was later in the game. But I don't understand. I didn't understand we're going to pinch hit for Gavin Sheets with Jose Iglesias. That's fine to pinch hit with Jose Iglesias. I don't know why they pinch hit for Sheets and not the guy batting after him and Jake Cronenworth, who didn't get a hit all series. At least at that point in the game, I think it was either 2-0 or 3-0. It might have been 3-0 at that point. At that point in the game, Gavin Sheets can still run into one and put one over the fence. I don't understand why they decided to pinch hit for him and not pinch hit for Jake Cronenworth, who had been absolutely nothing in the postseason. It didn't make any sense to me there either. So a couple of head-scratching moves I thought from yesterday's game. It didn't make a lot of sense, and I'm sure there's some reasons for why they did what they did. But again, that was a tough game to watch. I thought yesterday's game was like so many different San Diego Charger playoff games that I'd watched. I thought yesterday's game reminded me of San Diego State basketball in the national championship. It's like they held around. They hung around the entire time. You were just waiting for that big run that they needed to go on, and they just never got it. And that's what made it frustrating. I mean, that looked like one of the Chargers-Steelers playoff games. It's like you're right there. You felt like they're keeping us alive. They're keeping us alive. They're keeping us alive, and they just never took advantage of it. Frank Marchese back in studio. What did you see out of yesterday's Padres game?
Again, just frustrating, and I've been saying it for the last 2 months. It's Frustrating baseball is frustrating baseball, no matter who you root for, no matter who you're watching. And for a group of players to, again, insist on underperforming all series long. 2 for 22 between Manny and Fernando. 2 for 22. That's unacceptable. There were 4 guys, and you mentioned them. Merrill, Xander, Fermin, and I'll throw Ryan O'Hearn in there. 4 guys that looked like they were playing in a postseason series. All 3 games. Mm-hmm. That was it. I don't think you lose the game in the 9th inning, if I'm honest. I think you lose the game in the 7th inning by having Robert Suarez pitch in the 7th inning. Not only have him come out for the 7th inning, but keep him out there to face Nico Horner after giving up the home run. What are you doing at that point? You should have been out there pulling him before the ball even landed if you were going to have him go out there for the 7th inning. Because assume everything goes the same and Bogaerts gets that ball for a call. The ground out by Cronenworth ties the game, and the sac fly by Fermin gives you a 3-2 lead. And that's all prevented by keeping Suarez from going out there for the 7th inning. You could have won this series. You could be on your way to Milwaukee right now if you don't put Robert Suarez in the 9th inning, in the 7th inning.
I think you can make an argument for that. I think, I think the pitching staff did well for the most part. I think, Estrada kind of shaky near the end of the season. I mean, him walking in a run wasn't very good. Yu Darvish showed his age. Pivetta gave up 2 bad pitches. And, I don't really blame Suarez. I mean, Suarez is a 1-inning guy. He's a hard contact guy. You know what Suarez is.
Yeah, no, that's right? on Schilt. That's on Schilt. That's
not
on Robert Suarez.
That's not on Robert Suarez. I mean, so out of those things that I mentioned about the pitching, that was the worst of the pitching staff, right? 2 bad pitches from Pivetta. Darvish showing his age and things kind of unraveling on him early. I thought the Padres did a good job getting out of there with only 2 runs.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, as bad as it was that Estrada walked,
they got out of there
in a run.
They got out of there on 2 runs because of what I said. The hero of the game is going to be the guy who doesn't try too hard, that knows their role and plays it to perfection. Dansby Swanson did that. Matt Shaw, who just watched a guy get 3 straight balls thrown to him on a walk.
Oh, he saved you.
He would not. If he should not have gone up to the plate with a bat until he had a strike on him, then go back to the dugout and grab the bat. That was a disgusting at bat by Matt Shaw in the 2nd inning, and that sets up the Busch double play to get you out of the inning. That should have been so much worse if it wasn't for Shaw trying to be the hero. That's what he was doing. He was trying to be the hero. He was trying to get out of his role and step up. And he struck out on 3 pitches that were nowhere near the zone.
It's disappointing. Again, like I said, it's funny. I think we've done a good job of holding. We're in the middle here. I mean, it's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you think. We had some people just saying we're too harsh, and now we have somebody saying we're not holding them accountable enough. I mean, I don't know how much more you want me to hold them accountable. They didn't perform. I'm not going to start taking personal attacks on these guys. I mean, they needed to play better, and they failed. And we went through kind of what happened in Game 3. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes made by a lot of members of the team. I think there was some questionable coaching decisions. I think there was, some lackluster play. I mean, it wasn't very good. And Darvish gave this organization a lot. I mean, it's just he's 39 years old now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And he looked like he can't play anymore. Yeah, that's what he looked like.
I would not be surprised if that was the last time we saw you Darvish on a major league mound. I would not be surprised.
I know, it's funny. Yeah. I mean, what do you want me to say? He sucks? I mean, it's just there's nothing I can say about it. That's as best as I can do. I just don't see him coming back. I mean, yesterday we had people going I can't believe you would say it was his last. It could be his last game. I'm never going to make anybody happy, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to continue this conversation. I do want to get to your guys' phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Kevin, Tim, Eric, Richard, we'll get to you when we come back as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. All right, welcome back on a Friday to the Braden Surprenant Show. A lot of people obviously upset about yesterday and yesterday's results. I'm sure everybody's got the solution out there to the San Diego Padres problems. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. We are live. I am up in the Bay Area in a hotel waiting for our high school football game that I'm coaching as the Dons take on De La Salle. So I'm up here until tomorrow. Fly back tomorrow. Nice little easy trip. I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't seen new Terminal 1 in San Diego, Terminal 1 is phenomenal. I had to watch the last 2 innings of the game at Terminal 1, which wasn't the best. I couldn't hear the sound on everything, but I did see it. Get to watch the game. It's spacious. There's good food options. It actually looked like a real airport. San Diego actually looked like they had a real airport like everybody else. It was great. It's great to see. Great to see. But yeah, if you are flying Southwest and you fly to Terminal 1, it's not bad. If you're flying to San Diego and you land at Terminal 1, pretty great. Anyway, let's talk about the Padres. People are saying some outlandish things right now. Just outlandish things. I feel like people are making up things in the YouTube chat just to see if it's so ridiculous that we even acknowledge how ridiculous it sounds. It's so ridiculous. Some of the things are just what are you talking about? Crazy. I mean, the people, this is the one that killed me, Frank. I mean, I have to address it. The people that today are saying trading for Mason Miller was a waste might be in line for the most foolish comment of the day. That's a foul. That might get you kicked out of the YouTube chat. I mean, what? What are we talking about? Could you imagine if they didn't make that trade right now? Could you imagine? Who's pitching then? Wandy Peralta? Yuki Matsui?
And like I told you, those are just people that want to be mad at something. They have no idea what they're mad at. They're just mad at something. And that's
foul on Juan Orozco in the chat too. Can't punt on a man. That's a foul. No, it's not.
He draws the foul.
You can't waste years. You want to punt and go into a rebuild for 3 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what Manny Machado looks like in 4 years, man. Let's see it.
Them punting on a Manny Machado prime year is them trading people away, trading a bunch of people away and just giving up on the playoffs. Losing a playoff series is not punting on the season.
No. Well, he's saying that they should have sold at the deadline and started to get some prospects and rebuild.
That's called punting.
That's punting. That would be crazy. Could you imagine what this team would look like for the next 3 years? Could you imagine? Do you want to go back to being the Blue Padres? I don't want to go back to being the Blue Padres. I mean, we're all upset. But you can't let the emotions just take over and just start saying outlandish things. You got to try to keep it a little even keel. That's why, Frank, we've pissed everybody off today, because the people that want us to hold them accountable say we're not doing it enough, and the people that want to, look at sunshine and rainbows are sitting there going you're being too hard on them. That means we're in the right spot right here.
Yeah, more or less.
Let's go to the phones. I'm sure this will be great. Let's go to the phones.
Nothing can go wrong when you go to the phones.
Yes, exactly.
It's the chat that can talk to you.
That's right. We're going to start with Tim in Oceanside. Tim, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's still a great day to be a Padre fan, folks. I mean, these people that you just mentioned talking about starting over and wholesale changes and things, you're right. That would set us back years. I mean, we're right there. But I want to ask you something, Braden, that maybe you can, verify for me. Throughout the season, and I watched a lot of Padre games and attended a lot of Padre games, it always felt to me Mike Shildt stuck with the starting pitcher just a little bit too long in several cases. I honestly think we could have been at 93 or 94 wins, because 6 or 7 times where maybe if he pulls that guy a little earlier, and the same thing happened in the playoffs. I think he hung with Darvish too long. He really hung with the starting pitcher in game 1 too long. It's just when they start to get in trouble, I think he just wanted to believe in them rather than lead them. And you and I, I was coaching forever. I've told you some of the kids even that went to Cathedral that played basketball for me on the traveling circuit. But after every loss, I always evaluated myself. What could I have done differently? And I don't look at the major things, because what I could have done differently was probably the slightest little thing. But I think we lost a lot of games by not switching out the pitcher quick enough.
I think that's a fair comment. I think, and I think that is a little bit of Mike Shildt's faults, is he believes in his guys. And he believes in his guys maybe a little bit too much. And sometimes I do that as a coach. It's a little bit different. I mean, he's got professionals. I got high school kids, right? So it's slightly different. But sometimes that could be a fault. I mean, every coach has some faults to him. Some don't believe in their guys enough and trust the analytics. I mean, we saw that too with Blake Snell on the Rays, right? Computer said, take him out. We got to take him out. And disaster happened. And then you got guys that might do it a little bit too much. But again, like, you look at this and the realistic expectation, right? I think you're into somewhere in between. And here's another thing that I wanted to talk about that Tim reminded me of is, this is why September matters. This is why the last 2 months of the year mattered to the Padres. And I do think our team sometimes, and the Padres sometimes, get this, and I think a lot of baseball teams do this too, but sometimes I feel like their mindset, they don't have that. I didn't see that killer instinct this year out of the Padres of, let's go win the division. I thought to be honest with you, I saw it on Mike Shildt. I think a lot of the moves that Mike Shildt made, when the Padres were in St. Louis, some of the Padres were, battling for a division, he was managing games like they were playoff games, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But I feel like sometimes, and maybe I'm looking at it differently, but I feel like sometimes the players think it's, we just got to make the playoffs. And it just seems like they might be satisfied with that. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. That's what the actions tell me. I don't want to say, I don't want to make assumptions, but that's the way that they played a couple of times in September. I mean, think about it this way. If they played good ball in September and they played good ball in August, they would have hosted that series. I tweeted that out. Somebody's like, there's no guarantee the bats would have been better at Petco Park. I'm going to tell you right now, the Padres fans and the home field advantage that they have, look how important home field advantage is. How many blown calls did the umpires have in favor of the Cubs that had to get overturned by replay? It's an advantage. It is an advantage. They could have had that series here at Petco Park, and you guys could have made an impact in that particular series. The home record's great. The Padres play so much better at home. And that's one of the benefits or advantages the Padres have that they didn't get to deploy, was their home field advantage. They lost that series in September by not getting after it and trying to get the home field advantage. And I'm not going to say they didn't try, because they definitely tried. I mean, it's not like they don't care. They definitely care. You saw it yesterday, that video where they're mad at the umpires. I mean, that was a crazy video. But that's the point where you have to try to win those games in September to get to home, to get to host some of those games. They had opportunities. They didn't take advantage of it, but that was the entire season for the Padres. Were opportunities after another. I mean, the Dodgers were just giving them the division with how poor they played in the second half, and they didn't take advantage of those opportunities in the season. They had opportunities multiple times during the season to blow games open. They didn't take advantage of it. They had opportunities in the postseason against the Cubs to blow a game open, to get a lead, to win the games, and they failed to do that. I mean, I think you could look at 2025 and go like the season of just missed opportunities. I mean, to me, Frank, that seemed like a big factor. I think you could look back at the last 2 months of the season and be like, this could have better play here could have been a lot better, or could have made an impact in the postseason. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I'll try to get out to another one here. Let's get out to Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
Okay, happy first day of the off season. Gives us an opportunity, I think, to pause and reflect. And it's going to be okay. You know, I've watched this since 1969, so I've been through a lot worse. And you know, that's the truth. And anybody that can go back that far knows what I'm talking about. So thank you to 97.3 as well. All you guys from the morning right up through the end of the day with Scraby. I know it's hard to take so many hours of so many weeks and so many months to continue to bring material without being redundant and boring. And you guys are anything but. And kudos to all of you, Braden. Thank you, Frank. And Frank, remember the amazing Mets of '69 and Ed Kranepool and Jerry Koosman? That was a good year. So that should be a good thing to be happy about today. I don't have the luxury, Braden, of having a 4-hour show, so I'm going to try to generalize here, and so bear with me because I'm not going to have the opportunity to really go into depth. I agree with you. I think the season really began to unravel during the month of August and early September when they could have overtaken the Dodgers and had that home playoff. And look, we could have been playing the Cincinnati Reds instead of being on the road. And that to me is a shame. The collar got tight. They didn't respond. What troubles me about this team is a couple of things, maybe three things. Number one, I think the management structure, top to bottom, overestimated their starting pitching or lack thereugh. It needed to be addressed. It didn't get addressed.
Kevin, that's a good point. We're going to talk. We got to get some breaks. Sorry, man. We're going to talk a little bit more about what Kevin said. We'll get back to your phone calls. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Braden Surprenant Show, hour in, 3 hours to go here on a Friday. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL and CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. This is always a very difficult show. The post-mortem of the season show, Frank.
Yeah.
It's jam-packed with a lot of people's opinions, which is fine. We like to hear everybody's opinions on stuff. Some of them a little bit more emotional than others. This is why they have the 24-hour rule, Frank. So you can calm down. We haven't even talked about the umpiring in this particular series. I tweeted out about it enough. I can't wait for ABS. I mean, I just don't like how smug they are. That's my biggest problem. Is the kind of like we're in control kind of attitude that they have. But I mean, the call at the end of the Xander Bogaerts, that ends up being crucial. I mean, and two things can be right. The Padres had multiple opportunities to win that game. They lost on their own. I'm going to make that perfectly clear. They lost on their own. That doesn't take away from the fact that the umpire made a horrendous call in a very big spot when you have technology now that can prevent those things from happening. I'm just about the get it right deal. And I didn't know the exact numbers. John Clark Jr. in the chat said 6 challenges and 5 went in favor of the Padres. Tells me on-field umpires were terrible. Yeah, they had a lot of calls overturned. I mean, the one that got overturned in the first inning, Frank, or for me,
the stolen base was ridiculous.
It's not even close in real time.
Nope.
It's not even close in real time. And I'm like, well, maybe he snuck his hand in there. But you watch, he's already calling safe before, was it Nico Horner?
Yeah.
Could be, I don't remember. I think it was Nico
Horner.
Before Nico Horner even is like finished sliding into the bag, he's already calling safe. I'm just like, what is this guy doing? What is he watching? Seriously, what is he doing? Then you look at the replay, and he looks worse. And you're just like, completely. Oh, my God. This is, like, worse than I thought. I mean, could you imagine if they didn't have replay? I mean, we'd have been talking about that play, too.
The only other one, I mean, there were 2 bang-bang plays where, it probably could have changed, but the call on the field, and the replay, it was so close, was the double up by Xander on Wednesday, tagging second base. That was one where you can live with the call on the field, but maybe on replay it looked a little bit closer than it actually was, but you can't tell.
That's the only one that didn't get overturned, by the way.
No, there was the other one that I was going to bring up was the play at home that would have made it 4-0, I think, where he was called out on the field, but it looked like he may have gotten his hand in there.
Well, it looked like that because they didn't show the beginning part of the replay where he tags the front part of his hand. They just showed the ending replay. Yeah. They didn't show the first part where he tags him.
Those are the only.
That's on ESPN right there.
Those are the only ones that you could have say, I can live with it either way. But other than that, no. The calls on the field were horrific in this series.
It wasn't good, and I think apparently all the other series were like that too. They had MLB umpire auditor or whatever like that, I think is on Twitter. I got to see the exact.
What, the umpire scorecard?
No, it wasn't the scorecard, but the umpire auditor for the entire wild card series. This is what it was tweeted out. He goes, in today's elimination games, they post the video of the Xander Bogaerts call. In today's elimination games, all 3 umpires called below league average games. They were below league average calling games. Umpires David Rackley, Mark Rippinger, and DJ Rayburn combined to miss 36 calls just in yesterday's game.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just, and I get like here's my thing. I hate the human element conversation because nobody's like excited for MLB. Like, you know what I really love about baseball?
You're watching the wrong call.
At some point in the game, they could throw a pitch and it could be not a strike, and they can call it a strike, and you just don't know when it's going to happen, and it's going to impact the game. I love that about baseball. Have you ever heard anybody say that about baseball?
No.
Oh, it's part of the game. We love the game. Nobody says that. I'm just about getting it right. Just get it right. I mean, it's especially with technology now. It's so easy to do. Just get it right. I don't mind the umpire back there like calling balls and strikes. It's fine with me. But there should be definitely some replay involved at this point in time. It's the same thing with like the NFL. Like that Saints game in the playoffs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing though, too. Nobody cares about this during the regular season until it ends somebody's season, and then you have change.
Nobody makes,
and it's usually the case. It's usually the case for big market teams. I mean, if that was reversed, Cubs fans incensed, they would immediately put out like a statement, and it would have been like a huge, major problem. You were saying?
Nobody makes a better case for replay than the umpires do. Nobody.
I know. They do it to themselves.
Exactly. They kick themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot all the time. If you don't want replay, prove you can be better. No one's expecting you to be perfect. Just be right. Just be right when it matters the most. And they were right at the wrong time. They were right when it mattered the least every time. They were wrong when it mattered most every time.
Yeah. And again, we spent the entire first hour talking about what the Padres did. We even started this segment going, the Padres failed to win on their own. But that doesn't justify or give the umpires an excuse for not being good. I'm tired of watching them not be good. They're just not good. And I don't think, I don't even get me started with high school football officials. I mean, it's painful to watch. It is painful to watch. But at least with the high school football officials, it's like the beginning part. They're learning, they're trying their best, right? It's just a different level. These guys are paid professionals. They have to be on. And there's no accountability press conferences. And here's the thing. Here's the difference. And this is what I want to point out. Okay. Does everybody remember? I know everybody remembers it. Remember Ed Hockley? Remember when Ed Hockley missed that call against the Broncos that cost the Chargers a game?
Yep.
Do we all remember that? My Pop Warner coach, Tim Pedraza, was on. He was on that officiating crew. He is an NFL official from San Diego. He was on that officiating crew. Ed Hockley at the airport was incensed. I mean, he was so upset that he missed that call. It bothered him, and it still bothers him to this day that he missed that call. I mean, we were told, he told the story. I've heard the story multiple times. He was like, he looked like somebody in his family died at the airport after that game. It bothered him that much that he missed that call. I respect that, to be honest with you. Now, I don't necessarily believe Major League Baseball umpires have that same sentiment, and I think that's what makes it even more annoying. Ed Hockley is a great NFL official. He cost the Chargers a game. I don't even know what year it was, but he was beyond upset that he did that. I'm not necessarily sure these guys are upset about it. And you want to know why I know that? Look at that video of them leaving the game yesterday. Now, the Padres, it's tough, right? Because it's emotional. This is why they have the 24-hour rule. They had to exit through the Padres dugout. Okay? At Petco Park, the umpires show up and exit out of the visiting team's dugout. I mean, that's part of the deal. So that was going to be a rough encounter anyway. Somebody on the Padres said something. I don't know who it is. I don't know who the guy in the hoodie is. I can't tell. And I'm not going to throw names out there and guess. But somebody in a hoodie in the dugout says something. And then the home plate umpire starts jawing back at him in this like arrogant kind of way. And you're like, uh-oh. This is about to get bad. And then 4 Padres, like Xander gets involved and Schilt, and then like a couple other guys run over and start yelling at the umpire, and the guy runs away. That's the thing that bugs me about the umpires. There was a point in that game yesterday where Ryan O'Hearn gets a called strike on the outside corner, and it was a strike. And Ryan O'Hearn, and the thing is, the mics are hot for the playoffs. And Ryan O'Hearn asked them the question of, like, is that the furthest, like, is that the limit? Is that the outside zone? You know, those kind of things. And the umpire's response back was like such an insulted, like, what? What did you say? It's on the mic. He's like all upset about it. And Ryan O'Hearn's like, I'm just asking about the outside pitch. Oh, yeah, okay. It's like they get so, it's just the attitude. That's what drives me nuts about MLB umpires. And I don't see that as much in the NFL. I don't see that as much in college football. But the egos sometimes of these MLB guys make it even more frustrating. And I think that's why a lot of people get upset when you see these major mess ups by MLB umpires in the playoffs. And again, the Padres lost this game on their own. They lost this game on their own, 100%. No. I mean, you can play out the game. I mean, they probably could have tied the game, right? You get the leadoff home run, and then you get the walk to Bogarts. Next two guys get hit. It opens up a can of worms of what could have possibly happened. It definitely impacted the game yesterday, but the Padres had opportunities to win. Both things can be true. I am like and I was texting somebody yesterday about this. I am 100% in the pool of, I just want it to be right. Just get it right. When we're all watching it and everybody knows but the guy calling it, and he can make mistakes, that's fine. But there should be something in place that corrects it if it's a mistake. It shouldn't be this like, well, we can't do anything about it because that's what makes our game great. It doesn't make your game great. That makes your game lousy. You don't want the human element thing is cool until it burns somebody that's important in Major League Baseball. Then all of a sudden it's not cool anymore. But it's crazy. I mean, it's just, it was a tough one to see yesterday. And again, it wasn't the umpire's fault. But there is some elements to that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, Eric, Richard, Dexter, Alan, we are going to get to you, I promise, when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, standing as number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3, The Fan. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. I'm on the road up in San Francisco area, the Bay Area. Walnut Creek, California, getting ready to take on De La Salle and Concord, California. They're number 19th. They're 19th best team in the country. So should be a very difficult game for our Cathedral Catholic Dons. When I say our, I mean mine. So should be a difficult game for us. We're going to talk more high school football later on. There's a lot of great games today. Mission Hills, La Costa Canyon is a good game. Helix, Mount Miguel. Mount Miguel's homecoming this week. I think there's other somebody else's. A couple of North County games are pretty good today as well. We're going to get into that later on in our show. But yeah, up here in the Bay Area, flew up here yesterday. By the way, I got to say that a little break in the action, Frank. How difficult is it? I find, like, do people at airports just lose their brain? Can they not critically think anymore? Like, is it just like so many moving parts that they just like stop thinking?
I have no idea, man. That's what you get when
They
you
just
get
stop thinking.
That's what you get when you get the cattle in a herd.
Here's the deal.
The airport. It's merging lanes. It's ridiculous.
Couple of things happened yesterday. Getting onto the flight. We're getting I flew Southwest up here yesterday. Team already went up before. My dad and I went after. I had to go after work, obviously. We're getting in line. You know how Southwest does their deal, at least for the rest of the year.
No, I never fly Southwest.
You get a boarding group.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So when you check in, so it's A1 through whatever.
Yeah,
because it's open seating on the open seat. It's open seating on the plane. Okay, you can sit wherever. So they have boarding groups. They have A1 through 60. A1 through 30 goes on first, and A1 through 60. Yada yada yada. So I'm A52 or something like that. This lady behind me is like, "Oh, I'm A56." Okay, cool. Somebody else said they were A56. And the lady goes, "Oh, is this the flight to Oakland?" They're like, "Yeah, this is the flight to Oakland." And she was like, "This is flight 3090?" I'm like, "No, this is flight 451. She was like, "What?" She looks down. Her flight wasn't for another 3 hours. She was on the 8 o'clock flight.
Oh, I'm just stupid.
And then she goes like, "Well, I'm going to go relax now because I am 3 hours early to my flight. It's not even close to being here yet." Oh, man. I love it. Then you get on the plane. Now it gets better, Frank. People on planes crack me up. It's just so funny. People on planes crack me up. So on these new Southwest jets, these MAX 8, 737s, whatever they are, they want you to put your bags where they're like stacked like this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead of putting it in flat,
yeah.
I mean, if I had my bag not unpacked, I would have showed you.
Yeah, instead of putting it like you looking at your hand, instead of having it flat,
like this,
they want you to put it like on the edge of your hand.
You go like this.
Yeah.
Right. There are pictures plastered all over the airline saying to do it. Everybody that puts their bag up puts it in like this. Flight attendant. Stack it on its side. I watched 15 people do that in front of me. And I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
Did anyone argue?
Literally, it's not, some of them did.
I feel very confident I was right.
It says it on the thing. Please stack your bag vertical, whatever. Inside the overhead compartment, they have a mirror, and then they have two gigantic graphs of like bag, flip, here. No, yes. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And here's my favorite on planes. Do we understand, people? Do we all understand this? Let me ask you, Frank. Do we understand that when the overhead compartment is closed, it means it's full? Do we understand that?
Apparently not.
That is pretty much procedure. If it's closed, It's full. Which means you're not going to open it and find space. Flight attendant, that's full. Don't open it. Person goes, it's full. What do I do with my bag? Flight attendant, God bless you, flight attendants out there. God bless you. I would have lost my mind probably 1,500 times. Then the guy, and he ends up sitting next to me, which makes it even worse. One of the guys opens the hatch of the overhead compartment, tries to put his bag in the wrong way. It's already full. Then he starts moving a bag around, and he's like, you can't close that one because that bag, she's trying to explain to him. He then stacks a bag on top of a bag to put his bag in there, and they finally get the thing to close. And he sits down, and he was like, I was just trying to help. And I'm like, bro, what? And then the flight attendant yells at him, and the guy goes like, oh, just like my wife at my house. You know, some things just never change. Hey, I wonder. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Brother, I've known you for all of 5 seconds, but if you're saying that, there seems to be one common denominator in this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's you, Like maybe it's time for a little introspection. I don't know.
I just could not. I mean, the airport is just, it's funny. People just lose their minds. All right, back to the phones. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get to Eric in Chula Vista. Eric, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for the call, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this series kind of culmination of how the season went, pitching decent, hitting non-existent. I've been fired up since, April, March, but unfortunately, recency bias, right, is real. No one talks about the series here at home when we got swept by Tampa Bay, right? So there's our division right there and you know why? Because here's why. It's a long season. Well, you know what? It's not a long season. You got to win from series 1 all the way to the end, and there should be no excuses. It's a long season. It's a long season. Well, it's not. And now it's over. Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call, Eric. That's what we talk about on the air all the time. It's all fun and games until it ends your season, like having this guy do that or batting the same 3 guys in the top of the order the entire every single lineup, every single time. They had opportunities. I mean, the 2025 season to me is the year of missed opportunities. It wasn't a collapse. It still won 90 games. It still made the playoffs, but they had opportunities to win the division. They didn't. They had opportunities to get the 4 seed and host the wild card. They didn't. They had opportunities in the postseason to win the first series that they were in the wild card, and they didn't. It was the season of missed opportunities. Season of missed opportunities. That doesn't mean it's over. I mean, there's positives to this too. I mean, having Mason Miller on the team for the next 4 years is great. Freddie Fermin's a dog. You have a good core coming back, and for everybody that says they got to trade Fernando and Manny, they're staying. So I don't know what to tell you there. We'll see what the offseason's like. There is some money coming off the books. We'll talk more about that probably next week. Richard in Hillcrest, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Well, it's Friday. Good or bad, it's Friday, right, guys?
That's true. Hey, you know what? Got the weekend to regroup here, Richard. Weekend to regroup.
Listen, a couple of things, man. It's very disappointing. I'm disappointed that Tatis's performance yesterday at bat. 3 strikeouts from the leadoff spot. You just can't have that, man. For me, at the number 9 spot, getting 3 hits, amazing for him. Great job. Your superstars, and we've got 2 of them in Manny and Tatis, are supposed to shine in the playoffs. And I didn't see much shining from either one of them. And that's what's really disappointing. I love this team. I think we have a great group of guys. But when it comes to the playoffs, your stars are supposed to really lead. And I'm just so disappointed in what happened. I don't want to even get into the coaching aspect of it. Doesn't matter at this point. I just felt that we had a better team than the Cubs. And it turned out that we don't play good on the road the whole season. If we had won maybe 5 or 6 more games on the road, we could have been the home team instead of the visitors. And there's a lot to reflect on this coming off season. But I'm looking forward to next year and going to Boston for the opening of the season. So let's see what happens next year, guys. Keep the faith. Have a great weekend. And by the way, good luck with the football game up there. That's a great high school team you're playing.
Yeah, it is, Richard. It's a very good high school football team. Very, very good. Watched a little bit more tape today, and it's just like they're just a machine. We're hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. We got a couple different things maybe we got in play. I mean, it's going to be tough. The wind howls up here. We were up here a couple of years ago. They're tough to play. It's kind of cool. I mean, to me, it's going to be cool coaching at De La Salle. I mean, De La Salle is a traditional program. They had like the record for most wins in a row. I mean, this is a this team is this high school football program is so good they made a movie off of them. That's how good they are. We'll talk more about that later. So, on the road with the Dons, it's kind of a fun experience for our kids to be able to travel, their second travel game, and we'll talk more about that later on. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Yes, JV and varsity are up here. Varsity traveled last night. JV is traveling this morning. Kind of double dip for us. But the thing is, it's like a lot of the big teams in San Diego got to travel out of San Diego to play. And we got a lot of teams doing that now. Lincoln travels to Hawaii. They travel to Vegas. They go all over the place. We have, since I've been a coach here, we've traveled to San Francisco and Sacramento multiple times. We've gone to LA a couple of times. We've gone to Vegas a couple of times. I think we're going to Arizona next year. So high school football is just a different deal in San Diego now. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Dexter in Spring Valley, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Dexter?
Hey, guys. I just want to bring up a couple of points. One of them was I'm glad I didn't watch the game until I got home and watched the lowlights on YouTube, because everything that I saw with you, Darvish, reminded me a lot of Ken Caminiti's last at-bat during the 98 World Series. It was tragic and very sad. And it broke my heart to see somebody so great like that go out the way they did. That made me sad. The second point that I want to bring up is, well, you already kind of talked about it a little bit with regards to free agency. I went down that rabbit hole this morning before starting work, and there are a lot of guys that I know that they're not going to pursue. And I'm just talking about our guys, like Arise and Suarez and those guys. So that's, like you said, a lot of money off the books. And the albatross that is Eric Hosmer's salary is off the books next year. And I'm not going to think about free agent go after right now because it's too soon. But I have my ideas, and when it's appropriate, I'd like to share them. But yeah, we have an opportunity, hopefully, with a lot of money coming off the books, to go out there and get some guys like a real first baseman, a power hitting one, if you get my meaning, and a couple of really good strong arms. So I just want to hear what you guys think.
I agree with you on some of those things. We'll talk about free again. Body's still warm, so tough to talk about the off-season moves yet. But there are a lot of players I think the Padres are just going to let go at the end of the year. I mean, the only player, I look at who's a free agent this year. Ryan O'Hearn's a free agent at the end of the year. Thank you for your service. I can't imagine the Padres are bringing him back. Maybe they do. Maybe they think they could get Ryan O'Hearn for less than $8 million. He signed a 2-year, $11.5 million deal with the Orioles 2 years ago. If you could get him for under 15, there's a power hitting first baseman. He'd be on my tweet, kind of okay. Kyle Hart has a club option. They're not going to pick it up. There's no way at $5 million. Jose Iglesias is a free agent. We thank you for your service. Elias Diaz has a mutual option. You're not picking that up. We thank you for your service. Ramon Laureano's got a club option. I think they got to pick that up. I think that's an absolute no-brainer. $6.5 million to bring Laureano back. Sounds good. Luis Arise, thank you for your service. I'm not signing him. I'm just not. He's not worth – he's getting $14 million right now in arbitration. Somebody's going to pay him $15 to $20 million. $20 million's on the high end. If somebody pays Luis Arise $20 million a year, that is financial malpractice, in my opinion. Thank you for your service, Luis. It's been fun, buddy. But, we're not giving you a contract. Dylan Cease, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thanks for throwing a no-hitter. I can't imagine giving Dylan Cease a contract. Nestor Cortez, thank you for your service. Maybe you bring him back on a low-money deal to get an arm in camp to try to make the team. Those are your free agents. Not really interested in signing any of those particular players. Now, Robert Suarez has an opt-out. He opts out. Thank you for your service. We got a new closer now. His name's Mason Miller, and Mason Miller costs us $765,000 or whatever ARB1's going to be, which will probably be in the couple millions. Thank you. Michael King is the only player, and I mean the only player, that should be getting a contract off this team. That's a free agent. He is the only guy. Everybody else, we'll see you later. I don't know if Wandy Peralta is going to opt out of his deal. If he does, good news for the Padres. They could save, $9 million. But I think that's the case. And I honestly, I'm going to tell you, I think Darvish I think he might retire. I really do. I really think he might retire. I mean, I know it's a tough way to go out for him, but I think he might retire. He actually makes less money next year. So with all of that, you're getting, 1.5 off the book, 3 off the book, 1 off the book for Kyle Hart. Ryan O'Hearn's gone, but even though most of that money was paid for by the Orioles, we'll see what happens with Michael King. $14 million off the books, 13.7 for Arise and Cease. Nestor Cortez only got half of that, so that's not too much either. All that money's coming off the books. I think I'd work on trying to get Adrian Morejon a contract extension. He's going into arbitration 4 next season. And guess what? You don't have to pay Eric Hosmer anymore. That's $12 million again off the books. We'll talk more about that next week. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We got to take a break. We'll get back to your phone calls as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 to the Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We have a Terminal 1 hater, Frank. I've been tagged in a video about how bad Terminal 1 is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
When was the
Crazy.
video? When was the video made?
At 11.
Okay. Well,
She's got some good points. She's got some good points on certain locations, but she's disappointed in
isn't this
in the deal. I got tagged it on Instagram. We appreciate the tag.
Wasn't this their soft opening though? Like it's not officially open. It's like a soft
I only got
opening?
I only got to see the beginning of her story. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing yet. But she's got 27,000 followers, so we appreciate her listening.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Once I watch the whole video, I will put out my rebuttal. I just think it's way better than what we had before. That's what I'm talking about. What we had before in Terminal 1 was awful. And trust me, I just got to the Oakland airport. Jeez, that place that's just terrible. Oakland's airport is bad. It's bad.
You know what would make it better though?
Tacos.
Well, no, if the A's were still there.
Oh, I drove past that yesterday. What a sad, like, just ruins of. They obviously still have events there.
Yeah.
But the Coliseum, we drove past, and then whatever the heck they, what is it? What did they use? Did they play at Oracle or something? Was that what was the arena the Warriors played at?
Oh, no.
That's in the parking lot.
Oracle's where they play now.
Well, I know they play. Oracle sponsors a lot of different things. What was the arena called? Whatever the arena was called was like it's sitting there. The lights were on though, so who knows? Maybe they had a concert there. I mean, the Forum's still there in LA, even though they have so many better arenas now. I'm just, you know what? As somebody that has had to deal with the misery of Terminal 1 at San Diego's airport, and you can't even go from certain gates to other gates, and the food options were terrible, and it's like everybody's on top of each other. It actually looked like a competent airport.
Oh, it's just the Oakland Arena now.
Oakland Arena. Yeah, I mean, that was sad driving by that. Just sitting there. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get back to the phone call.
It was the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum was the name when it opened up, and the Warriors started playing there. And then Oracle bought the naming rights, and now they dropped it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. You know, that is the stadium they use for Angels in the Outfield. Isn't that kind of odd?
Wait,
Angels in the Outfield was filmed in Oakland.
I thought it was Dodger Stadium. It was. I'd have to look at it again.
No, they filmed that thing. They filmed that thing. I looked it up. They because I'm watching. I watched it not too long ago. Rewatched the movie, and I'm like, where is this in Angel Stadium? They don't have trees by Angel Stadium.
Yeah, no.
How is that? How is the kid? How is Joseph Gordon-Levitt climbing a tree with binoculars to watch the game? What stadium is this? And I looked it up. It was the Oakland Coliseum.
Huh.
Before they built the Raider
the tower
thing in center field. What do they call it? The Mount
Davis.
Davis or something like that. Before they built Mount Davis, they filmed the Angels in the Outfield in Oakland, which makes no sense to me because Anaheim, it's a Disney movie. And wasn't that filmed around the time that Disney owned the Angels?
Well, you know.
And it's like down the street?
Well, you know.
And you're going to film at the rival stadium?
It's like, like Major League was filmed in Milwaukee at the Fulton County Stadium. That wasn't in Cleveland.
Well, I believe that. But still, it's just kind of, it's a Disney production with the team that's like in town with Disney. Whatever. I digress. But yeah, we drove past that yesterday. It was depressing to see. And I'm not even an Oakland fan of any kind. Let's get up back to the phone calls. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We're continuing our baseball coverage on 97 through the fans, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on iPhone 16 Pro. David in Imperial Beach on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, David?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Braden. Hey, I've been a Padres fan since 1967, and I've seen some pretty bad products on the field. And I want to praise our management for putting something on the field that it's enjoyable to go watch. I mean, I'm with two different groups that have season tickets, and I just, I've been through. I saw some pretty bad baseball, and I've seen good baseball, and I really enjoy what I'm seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's way better than it was in the past. I mean, I continue to give the ownership and the front office flowers. This team is way more fun to watch than what it was in the past. Way more fun. Way more fun. But that, I still think as it progresses, you have to understand that there are now more, there's now higher expectations when you make the playoffs for the last 6 years. Both of those things can be true. Yes, it's way better than it used to be. But at the same time, it needs to be better. We have now elevated the organization from, it would be great if we just came close to making the playoffs, to it would be great if we made the playoffs. Now we're at the point of, it would be great to make it through the playoffs and make it to a World Series. We are now at that level of expectation, I think, for this organization based on everything they've already done. They are continuing to progress the bar there in terms of expectations. On the other side, they are continuing to regress in terms of how many rounds that they advance for. Needs to be better. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Eric in San Diego, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on? Eric, you there?
I am here. How are you?
All right. How are we doing?
You know what? It's a beautiful day in San Diego. I've been listening to a lot of this stuff, and I agree with a lot of that's been said. First of all, I coached high school ball and junior college ball, so I know a little bit about the game. I would definitely say in a 3-game series, the better team won. That's what it comes down to. Their shortstop, their second baseman, they made plays when it mattered. You have to make the plays. You got to have a little luck. And the plays they made, ball ended up at the feet. They made a play. So I would say the better team won. That doesn't make me happy. But I am excited for the future. We do play pretty good baseball, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs played better. I mean, I thought it was, to be honest, it's a very even series between the Padres and the Cubs. If you look at this whole season, they played each other 9 times. And the Cubs went 5-4 in a 9-game series. I mean, the Padres and Cubs traded blows the entire time, the entire season. So they were better. They were better in the series. They played better defensively. The pitching was a little bit better, at least at the beginning part, the starting pitching. They played better, but at the same time, the Padres still missed out on opportunities. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Brad and La Mesa, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Brad?
Hey, Braden and Frank, thanks for taking my call, man. It was a tough day and evening yesterday in our household in La Mesa. The Padres went down, my Red Sox went down, and it breaks your heart. My wife, born and raised San Diegan, my son's, it's tough. It is tough.
It's tough.
You gotta
it's tough.
hang in there, man.
Yesterday's a tough day. Absolutely, Brad. I mean, that's the thing. To me, it's like, and here's the difference. It's like, and for me, it's different now because the more I work in the industry, the more it kills your sports fandom. I mean, I learned that in college. That was part of the deal. I know what I signed up for with that. So it kills a little bit of your overall fandom. And so, like, I feel for everybody. It's a tough day. To me, I got it. Like, I'm moving on to the next thing. I mean, I'm moving on to the next element. I mean, I got to be ready for a high school football game tonight as a coach. I got a lot, I got to worry about doing stuff at USD. I got to worry about this show and all that other stuff. But yesterday was sucked. I mean, it was a tough flying up here, and just I kept thinking about the baseball, any type of baseball. Now I turned it off. Like last night, I'm in my hotel room, and I'm like flipping through the channels. I need something on to just kind of wind down a little bit. ESPN. First thing I turn on, second channel's ESPN showing the cut. I'd be like, turn this garbage. I'd turn this off. I don't want to see this. And Ben said on the morning show, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to watch the playoffs, at least in the next series and probably the series after that over the weekend. It's going to be tough to do if you're, and that used to be the case too when I was a Chargers fan. Growing up, watching the Chargers in the playoffs, they lose a game, all of a sudden, guess who doesn't want to watch the rest of the playoffs? Me. It's tough to deal with. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Well, Clay, at least you can bounce back and talk about Ohio State football. I don't know about the Browns, but you know what? Ohio State football is looking pretty good. Clay, what's going on?
Hey, I'm going to tell you what's going on. First of all, it was a loss, but hey, I'm numb to losses. Come on, I'm a Browns fan. That's good to go. But you know what? The Browns are going to start Gabriel this weekend, so I'm pretty jazzed about that. Ohio State, Minnesota's going to come in, so hey, wish them well in the horseshoe, but I'm pretty sure Minnesota little Golden Gophers are going to go home buried in their own soil there. But the Padres, it was a good year, tough year. You just didn't take care of your runners in scoring position. Hopefully they'll rectify that next year. But other than that, I'm good to go. It's all good. And this weekend, Navy and Air Force. I mean, what more could you want? Go Navy.
Navy's off to a good start, Clay. They're 4-0. I almost put that game on the list today. We appreciate the phone call from Clay. We have a little bit of time left. Billy and LeMacy on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Billy?
Hey, Braden. Really enjoy your show. I used to be involved with high school football at Helix, so I know how good you guys are. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
San Diego proud. I called mainly about the umpiring, and I used to umpire high school baseball here in San Diego, and we were taught before the season start by several pro umpires, and one thing they taught us was we had to set up and be still so our head was still so we could see the play and make the call. If you notice these guys at second, third, and home, not only are they way too close, but they're moving. And how can you make a correct call? That's why they miss so many. They're moving, and it's like when they get to the majors, they just do what they want to do sometimes. Now, the guys at first, most of the time, they're still. Except if there's a play that pushes them into foul territory, then they're on the run, and they don't stop running. That's my main problem with them on that. So real disappointed about my Padres. I've been a fan since they were a minor league team. So, yes, I'm old. And but it's just real frustrating to see these guys get to the majors, and obviously they're good enough to umpire in the majors, and then they forget their mechanics. And as a former umpire, it's just real frustrating. So that's what I had to say.
It is frustrating.
But,
Billy, I appreciate the phone call, man. We got to get to we're getting up to a break here. Thanks again for the good luck. Obviously being involved with high school football at Helix. Helix is a tremendous football program. A little bit down this year, but hopefully they can bounce back a little bit. But yeah, I and here's the thing. I umpired for 12 years. I umpired for 12 years. I went through all the umpiring training and the clinics and everything. I've called balls and strikes, and I've been in. And he's right. I mean, you have to have your head still. You can't be moving. And there's angles that they teach you in these umpiring schools that you might not you just don't see maybe at the major league level. Maybe these guys get a little complacent at the major league level, go through the motions a little bit, knowing that they're basically going to be there for a long time unless they royally screw up. Maybe that's a factor. I will say this. I've never had to call balls and strikes, the ball coming in 100 miles an hour. Slightly different animal back there for those guys in that particular case. We're a couple hours in. We want to continue with the phone calls. We're also going to transition in some football stuff a little bit later, but we're here for you Padres fans, talking Padres baseball, kind of letting it out. Season comes to an end. We'll talk more about the future in the next couple of weeks or so, but today's for you, Padres fans, as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Friday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Somebody asked, who posted the Terminal 1 video and which platform? All right, so she posted a rebuttal to this, and we're going to talk about the lunchtime hour here in just a second. Run with Haley on Instagram. She's got 27,000 followers. She gives some coaching advice, too, which is great, but she disagrees with the Terminal 1 synopsis I have. Biggest gripe was all of the food area was right next to security and not by the gates. It's a legitimate gripe, Frank. Legitimate gripe. But I tell you, it's very spacious. She agrees with that. It's very spacious. And I will say, where she was walking towards gate-wise, they're opening up other places over there. I saw they're opening up a Cutwater. That's cool. Even the snacks at the little, like all of the snack places at airports are sponsored by, or their names are like television companies. Yeah. Like KUSI had one. The Univision one had like all these healthy snacks too. It was great. It's awesome. I loved it. You know why I loved it? Because it was such an upgrade from what it was before. That's why I loved it. Now, it is the lunchtime hour, Frank. We know what that means. It's time for tacos.
It is.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
This new lunchtime hour is brought to you by the Craft Taco, bold flavors in Sorrento Valley and Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. Open late on Fridays for Nat at Night. Big congratulations, Frank, to Craft Taco. Do you know what they won?
What did they win?
The Craft Taco is one of the 7 restaurants in San Diego, or one of the 7 taquerias that have made the Yelp Top 100 taco spots for 2025.
Hey, there you go.
How about that? How about that? Congratulations to Eddie and the Craft Taco at Sova in San Diego, over in Sorrento Valley, coming in at number 45 on the top 100 taco spots on Yelp.
Be in the top 10 if you go.
Country.
You'll be on the top 10 if you go with the Carne Estrada taco. But that's
true.
I'm just saying.
He's already got the best sounder on the airwaves.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
Where the damn tacos at? I don't really trust tacos up here. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I wouldn't either.
Can't say I'm gonna get Mexican food up here. I think the team. Now here's the deal. So like we rented vans this time instead of like a bus, save some money. All the coaches are in charge of driving a van. I do not have a van because I came up here late. So they all left to go get tacos. Correction. They all left to go get Chipotle. All of the players and all the coaches. So I'm just at the hotel by myself now. I don't know when they're coming back. All I do know is I have to be ready before 2:45 because that's when we're leaving to go to our team meal. We're eating I mean, it's a lot of food being consumed here.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
They went to Chipotle. I wonder what the Chipotle, but can you imagine? You're working at Chipotle in Pleasant Hill, I think is where the Chipotle is, just north of us, south of us from Walnut Creek. Might be north of us. You're working there on a Friday. Think about this. For everybody that's worked in food service, I mean, I worked at Starbucks for 3 years. The rushes were fun sometimes. The middle school rush was terrible at the one that I worked at. By the way, did I not tell everybody that I am the Grim Reaper of Starbucks?
Yes, you have.
Did I tell you that?
Yep.
The Grim Reaper of Starbucks, where every store I worked at is now under.
Yes.
Did I say that on air?
I believe you have, yes.
Did I say that on air? Did I say because the store that is in my neighborhood that I worked at on Scripps Ranch and Aviary gone. That they shut that down last week.
Wow.
They shut that down last week. I don't know if I talked to you about that off air or if I talked about it on air. I'm the Grim Reaper of Starbucks. When I traveled with USD to Tucson, back when I went to U of A, I worked at the one at Broadway and Campbell. Gone. That's not like Bad Hombres coffee or something. I don't know. Bullet coffee. I don't know. Something like that sounds cool. Coffee place. And then the one I got hired at off of Mercy Road in the 15, the one by the KFC over there in the Scripps Ranch, PQ, Mira Mesa kind of group. That one's gone too. That one went under first, then the Tucson one, and then the Scripps and Aviary one. I'm the Grim Reaper of Starbucks, but I used to work in food, coffee, whatever. You got to do, customer service. You ever have a customer service job, Frank?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's not fun. It sucks.
No, it's not.
It just sucks. It's not great. I've never had to work retail, but I did the food service thing, and I wasn't. I don't know how waiters have to deal with it and everybody else. It's just there's a lot of ones that suck. But where was I going with this with the tacos? Oh, now imagine. So all the people that have worked in that industry before, imagine it's a Friday. Near the middle or end of your shift, and you have 80 people part of a high school football team showing up at the same time.
We're out of here. Bye, everyone. Closed.
Yeah,
we're closed.
be like, I'm out.
We're out. Done.
80 people. It's like 14 coaches. There's 65 players. We have like 3 or 4 managers. They're all. What do you think that bill's going to be? That's a hell of a Chipotle order, let me tell you. Feeding an entire football team. That's a hell of a Chipotle order. And they're all showing up at the exact same time. And we've done it with In-N-Out before, but usually with In-N-Out, we call ahead and be like, hey, look, this is what we're getting. That is a line. Good luck to anybody. It's like, hey, all right. Because there's a lot of offices over here. Good luck to the people that have to walk around like, oh, I'm just get a quick bite to eat. We'll go down to Chipotle. Okay, yeah, cool. Lines around the building. Bunch of kids wearing
3
red and
times
gold
over
that they've never seen before. Oh, this sounds miserable. Just sounds miserable. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Noon lunchtime hour. Big congratulations to the Craft Taco at Silva. 45 on the list, top 100. That's a great round of applause. Here's a little excerpt they had in the San Diego Union Tribune. Craft Taco at Silva in San Diego, the Sorrento Valley hotspot, sells bowls and salads along with tacos. It's happy hour, which is all day Monday and other afternoons starting at 3 o'clock. Gives a drink discount and half off on starters. How about that? Be a great time to get some Craft Taco. Where are the tacos at?
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where are the damn tacos at?
Let's get back to the phones. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Phil and Bonita, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Phil?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I just wanted to say one thing. When Fernando first came up, the term wild horse came up because this dude was all over the place. And the organization moved him to the outfield to protect him. Now, in my opinion, I think he's more cerebral. I think he needs to be more engaged. And when he was at shortstop, he's constantly engaged in the game. And then, you get out to the outfield and you just wait for a ball to get hit in that area. I would rather take 10 errors at shortstop and 35 plus homers and 300 batting average from him. I know they moved him out there because they're looking at the Breeze coming up sometime in the next couple of years, but he's gone now. And what do you think about moving him back there and getting him back engaging in the game on every pitch, opposed to any balls that are just hit to him? I'll take your comments offline.
Well, I think that was the problem like the first year he moved out there, but I think he's really embraced the right field role. I think like the ball he ran down a couple of days ago looked like he was really excited to be out there. I mean, Frank, I don't think him playing right field has impacted his ability to swing the bat at all.
And you have another issue. Where's Xander Bogaerts playing?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to move everything around.
Yeah, that's no.
Fernando's not going back to shortstop. He's probably not. If you had to pick between him, I would imagine they probably have Jackson Merrill go to shortstop. Maybe before that. I mean, I don't know who your shortstop of the future is now. They got to go sign somebody. I still think they could move Jackson Merrill to shortstop if they wanted to.
Isn't it that kid that they got out of
Milwaukee?
back in the Milwaukee deal for Nestor Cortez? Isn't he a shortstop?
He might be. He's a top 100 prospect.
Yeah, he's the top 100 kid. Yeah.
I have now learned that we can't really pay too much attention to the prospects because they're all going to get shipped off eventually. Ethan Saul is still on the team, though. So we have that. Let's get out to John in Encinitas. John, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Hey, man. It's thanks for taking the call. Just a couple quick things. Were you on Saturday mornings a while back?
I used to be on Sunday mornings, yes.
Okay, yeah, because I used to listen to you, and I thought you were great. Your perspective was spot on. I liked all your stats and stuff. I was wondering what you thought about Preller in terms of his return, and I was curious to know, do you think these teams, and the Padres in particular, do you think they really genuinely care about winning a championship? Because sometimes I question it because they fill the stands irregardless of whether they win or not. And, the faithful, it's almost like we're a postseason team, and, that's okay. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on it. But and you do a great job. So glad they moved you to where you are now. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that very much, John. Thank you. They do care. I mean, the players definitely care. They want to win. I mean, there's nothing more embarrassing than going out there. And nobody wants to go out there and lose. I don't care how much money they're making. They don't want to lose. Of course they care. The organization cares too. I mean, how much more money do you think they'd make if they won more? I mean, making the playoffs is great if you're the San Diego Padres. Making the playoffs and having home games is even better because that's where they make their money. So, yes, the organization cares. You make more money as a playoff team. You make more money as a World Series team. You make more money in a lot of different things. And there's a lot of incentives to win aside from the fact that everybody, it's in the business of winning. Yes, they do care. So I'm going to bite that one first. In terms of AJ Preller, and we've criticized AJ Preller on this show for some moves. We've seen like kind of his sometimes moves seem a little reckless. I think AJ Preller has done the best job in the last couple of years. I think the last 2 years he's been at his best. I think it's hard to argue that. What he's been able to do to upgrade the roster, I think AJ Preller has done a phenomenal job. I think he has done a phenomenal job as the general manager of the San Diego Padres. Has he made every move? No, he hasn't. There's been a lot of mistakes mixed in there as well, just like every other general manager, president of baseball, that stuff. AJ Preller has done a phenomenal job. And I think AJ Preller should get his contract extension. I do. His contract's up at the end of 2026. I think he should be getting a contract extension. I think he's earned it. And I think he's one of the big reasons why this team has done so well. I think this is one of the big reasons why this team is exciting and why it's one of the teams that people talk about in Major League Baseball. Yeah, they haven't won a World Series yet, but I'm telling you right now, it's way better than what it used to be. I think if you don't bring AJ Preller back, there is a potential chance that you could return to being the blue Padres. And we're talking about the white and blue Padres in the middle 2000s that were just nobody would even watch them. And I know I'm not the only one in this category. I mean, there are people that I know, media members and other fans and stuff like that I see on social media that have, and these are like anti-AJ Preller people. And I've seen them post some anti-AJ Preller rhetoric. They have all said what a great job he has done in the last couple of years. He did his job. I don't think changing the general manager is going to change anything. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change anything. I honestly don't think changing the coaching staff's really going to do anything either. I mean, you could talk about a different philosophy in terms of offensive numbers, offensive production, offensive strategy, maybe. But this team's fun to watch. You have to remember, this is an entertainment business. The Padres are entertaining. And at the end of the day, even if they did everything the way you would want them to do, even if you made the team the Dodgers, there's still no guarantee you're going to win a World Series. There's no guarantee. Players have to play. Players did not play. Some of them did. We gave the flowers to Bogarts and Merrill and Fermin on the offensive side. Pitching staff was outstanding. Bullpen was great. But the superstars have to superstar, and they didn't really do that. They didn't really do that. But I think A.J. Preller's done a great job. I think the last couple of years he's actually done his best work. And I don't think I'm in the minority of that, Frank.
No, we'll get to it more on Monday. We'll do a full season review and where we go from here on Monday. But yeah, no, I've also been very critical of AJ Preller, and with the constraints that he has had since the passing of Peter Seidler, he's done better than when he had an open checkbook. He's the architect for this team. He has made this team a 90-win team the last 2 years. This has been AJ Preller's best work by far. And there are many people that deserve the blame for this. He's not one of them. He's absolutely not one of them.
I don't think ownership or the front office deserves the blame for this.
Nope.
Look, the budget is the budget, and the thing is, and we've talked about this the last couple of years, the spending was going to get cut a little bit regardless of who the chairperson was of the organization. They had spent a lot of money. They got a bunch of calls, money calls for the ownership group to throw more money in so they can go sign some more players. And regardless of Peter being in charge or not, money was going to get cut in terms of spending. That was always going to happen. And I think Preller has done his best work while having a budget. And I think you've seen it the last couple of years. They can win with having budgetary things. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of organizations that are cutting money. The Texas Rangers are going to cut money. I mean, tell them hit the New York Mets, but the New York Mets have spent a lot of money. I don't know if they want to just keep opening the checkbook. I think a lot of teams are trying to cut some payroll right now, and we'll see what 2026 is like, because 2027 is not a guarantee at this point in time with the salary cap and everything like that. The collective bargaining agreement, that's going to be a hellstorm. Can't wait, Frank. Going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We're going to get more of your phone calls when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show. New lunchtime hour presented by Craft Taco. Congratulations to Craft Taco being a top 100 taco shop in the United States. More of your phone calls to come on the Braden Surprenant Show. All guests on 97 to the Fan, join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys, helping clients regain control. Since 2010, visit davidpshapirolaw.com. I'm Braden Surprenant. Welcome back to the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Taking your phone calls here in this hour. Coming up next, Skyler will be in studio to join us and give her picks on the college football slate this weekend. Another good slate of college football games. We'll talk about that at 12:30. Then coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, try to get you some NFL whip around. Drake Hills will join us. But today's for you, Padres fans. Talk a little bit about the Padres season, where things went wrong, what our feelings are. I mean, obviously, it's a tough day. And I'm not going to sit here and defend everything that they did, that they have done. It's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you think when you look at the film, as you recap and you reflect. There's a lot of things that went wrong for the Padres, a lot of things that went right for the Padres this year. Our show's a fair show. We're going to tell you how we feel. We're going to tell you how it is, whether it's positive or negative. And we're going to give you our honest thoughts. And I think, honestly, A.J. Preller did a good job this season. I think he's done a great job the last couple of years. I think he needs a contract extension. I think overall, the superstars on this team need to play a lot better when it comes to the postseason. Got that one home run out of Manny Machado. He needs to be better in the postseason. Fernando Tatis Jr. needs to be better. I'm going to refrain from saying that. Fernando's been great in the postseason. Wasn't great this year. He needed to play better. Hopefully Joe Musgrove come back from injury and do well. You got Nick Pivetta coming back next year. I think the Padres have to try to find a way to get Michael King back on this team. But it's going to be another interesting offseason for the Padres. It's going to be another interesting offseason for the Padres. So we'll see how they go about their business. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Juan in Oceanside. Juan, it was nice to meet you the other day. What's going on, man?
How's it going, man? Yeah, it was cool to meet you and Frank. You guys are super approachable and cool dudes that entice me. But I did want to say I do feel like a lot of Padres fans today are being a little hysterical, and it's understandable. I'm not gonna tell people how to fan, but it does remind me of when I was a kid and the Chargers would charger and do something really stupid in the playoffs, and everybody had all these crazy reactions. And I'm glad you're here to be the voice of reason. But I will say the one thing that's been bothering me all day is that I've been getting text messages and seeing messages in the chat here of people saying we should trade Tatis, and I've never understood that take, and it just seems like a really dumb one in general from a fan base perspective, a team perspective. But also, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, you said that it was a disappointing season, and I agree, because obviously we didn't win the whole thing, but would you consider this season a failure? And
I think it's hard to say, whether I don't necessarily know. I'm super stoked about saying it was. I wouldn't call it a success. I wouldn't really call this season a success. I think that's where you have to hold the team accountable a little bit. I think we've done a good job of being being fair. I think they know it's a failure. I think the players know that. I don't think the players are flying. I didn't think they flew home last night and were like, you know what, this was a great season. This was very successful. We left it all on the line. This is. We can be super proud about the way we finished. I think they can be proud about the way that they play, the effort and stuff like that. But I know that they know that they're not satisfied with what their season was. There's no way that they were satisfied with the season that they had. So I think it's close to a failure. I mean, I think it is. I think you can have some success during the season. Okay, making the playoffs is successful. I mean, making the playoffs 4 to 6 years is successful. So you can't take that away from them. But I can't, I don't know. To me, this team is now at the expectation of they have to win in the playoffs now. They have to win in the playoffs now. Just making the playoffs, to me, is not enough success for what the team is. Not to say that they are at the Dodgers level, because they're not in terms of expectations with money and everything like that. But if the Dodgers lost to the Reds in the first round of the playoffs, wouldn't that be a failure? If the Dodgers lose the Phillies next series, would they consider that a success? If the Phillies lose in the first round of the playoffs, is that a successful season for them? Brewers. Let's talk about the Brewers for a second. If Milwaukee loses the series to the Cubs, would they consider that a successful season? I think you can have different levels of success. I think from a standpoint of entertainment and money and everything like that, and getting people to go to games, yeah, successful. On field, probably not. I think you could have two different levels of success. I think from the ownership standpoint, it was a successful season in terms of like, not to say that they're okay with not winning, but they've had record numbers. I mean, they're growing, continue to grow in terms of the love for the Padres. It's a long-term game. On field-wise, I wouldn't necessarily think it's successful. And I think you have to compare yourself with the top teams in the National League. Are the Brewers, if they get eliminated, are they considering this a successful season? And I don't think you can only consider it a successful season if you win the World Series. I thought on the roundtable, they making it to the NLCS would be a successful season. I think losing in the divisional series, I wouldn't be satisfied, but it would have been like, because it's kind of, it's different because it's such a crapshoot in the playoffs. It would make sense, but at the same time, you would feel disappointed. I think this is a failure, not making it out of the wild card round. I think it would be fair to say it's a failure of a season. I think individually you had great performances. Not everything about it was a failure, but you got to start thinking about what the other big teams in Major League Baseball consider a success and a failure, because you have to be one of those teams now. I think you're in that conversation of being one of those teams now. Look at the teams in the American League. Like, if you're Detroit, like, does Detroit think this is a successful season because they made the playoffs? No, probably not. They blew a huge lead, losing the first round. Right? I mean, that's not a successful season. Or Cleveland, whatever. Cleveland. I mean, the Tigers like had their entire season get eviscerated, and now they get to, they survived the Guardians in the first round of the playoffs. But I don't think that they find it to be successful. So I wouldn't say it's a successful season. Probably a failure of a season. And I think it could be different. I think from a business side, it probably was a success. And that's part of it too. This is a business. They're the entertainment business. On field, probably not a success. I bet you if you asked most of those players if they were like satisfied with the season ending like that, I don't think any of them would say they would. And so if they're not satisfied with how they played and how they finished, then I'd probably say it's a failure. Kind of a long way of answering one's question. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We do have to take a quick break. When we come back, Skyler is in studio to get you some college football picks. We're going to talk some college football, take a little break from the Padres baseball. 1 o'clock hour. Want to get back to your phone calls as well. This show's for you, Padres fans. Let it out. We're to talk this one through together. There's a lot of negative to discuss, but I think there is some positive for the future. As much as some people don't want to see that, I think there is some positive for the future with this organization. We'll talk more about that in the 1 o'clock hour. When we come back, the queen of college football joins us. Skyler is in studio to help pick some of the college games in college football this weekend on the Braden Surprenant Show, Standings #1 Sports Station 97.3 The Fan.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
If you guys could compete in any Olympic event, what would you choose?
I've always been drawn to figure skating. I remember when I was a kid.
I was not expecting him to go there.
No, I don't think any of us were.
I really have, though. There was
Tony is dying over there for
Listen to Quinn and Chris weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 The Fan.
The best way to enjoy Padres baseball is by becoming a season ticket member. With memberships currently sold out, join the Padres On Deck membership waitlist to secure your spot in line to select seats once they become available.
The Padres are headed to the postseason in 2025.
While you wait, season ticket members enjoy priority access to Padres tickets, including opening day, discounts on concessions and merchandise, invitations to exclusive events, and more. Become a Padres On Deck waitlist member today. Visit Padres.com/waitlist.
Jack here. Did you know my $3.49 sourdough scramblers are available all day? Toasted sourdough with bacon or sausage, scrambled eggs, and melty cheese. Yum. All for just $3.49. Get so much more. Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
Welcome to Talking About.
Hey, I'm Austin Gardner.
And I'm Kyle Lobe. We're the founders of GL Pools, San Diego's largest family-owned pool service and repair company.
We're grateful to have helped thousands of San Diegans keep their pools crystal clear since 2006, and we'd love to help
help you too.
Call GL Pools today and mention radio, and we will give you 1 free month of pool service so you can experience what pool service should be with no contracts, no commitments.
You've worked hard for your backyard, and so will we. Visit glpools.com today and get back to enjoying your pool. That's glpools.com.
Life can be hard sometimes. If you or someone you know is struggling emotionally, experiencing an issue with drugs or alcohol, or having a hard time, the 988 Lifeline can help. Calling can connect you, a friend, or a family member to mental health services and referrals. We don't have to face these challenges alone. Dial the 988 Lifeline today and receive support from a local counselor at no cost. That's 988.
Hey, it's Ben from Ben & Woods here with a hard truth most parents don't realize. If you die without a trust or will, the state decides who raises your kids. That's right. Strangers in a courtroom, not your family, will choose your children's guardians. Your kids could end up with relatives you wouldn't pick, or worse, in the system. With Trust and Will, you can quickly protect your assets and nominate guardians for your children all online. Take control of your family's future. Visit trustandwill.com and use code radio20 for 20% off services. That's trustandwill.com.
Fishing is back on The Fan. Let's Talk Hookup has returned to 97.3 The Fan, Saturday 7 to 8 a.m. and Sunday 7 to 9 a.m. Get all the latest fishing info. Let's Talk Hookup weekends on 97.3 The Fan. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup.
Braden Surprenant Show, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover a moment that inspires. Final segment of the noon lunchtime hour. We are now joined by Skyler, who is our queen of college football, in to make some college football picks. Should be a fun weekend this weekend in college football coming up tomorrow. And Frank, let's get to it.
Let us do that here. Hold on one second. All right.
There you go. Let's get into happy spirits after the Padres lost yesterday.
Absolutely.
Talk college football for you. Huh?
All righty. So, Skyler, first game. 9 a.m. on ESPN2. It is Iowa State. Why'd you move it? Why you got to move it?
Did you
I fixed
reorder
I had
it?
to fix it.
God.
No, I didn't reorder anything.
Iowa
I had to
State.
fix the
No, he
graph.
moved
It was on
the
two
whole
different.
thing.
It was on two different things.
There was one game on the second screen, and I can handle that. I may look stupid, but
I want them
I'm
all on
not-
one screen. My OCD takes over.
Well, that's cool. Iowa State.
All right, get the game going.
Iowa State 5-0, number 14, taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats in Cincinnati. Bearcats actually favored by 2.5 in this game. Skyler, who do you got?
Yeah, so you have an unranked team playing at home, favored against a ranked team. Iowa State is 5-0, but I'm going to take the Bearcats at home on this one.
Okay. Braden?
Iowa State's just been kind of coasting through the season. Just been, win here, close game, win there, close game. I'm a little surprised that Cincinnati is favored at home, but Vegas usually knows what's going on. So, you know what? I think the Bearcats are going to ease the pain of all Reds fans. They're favored by 2.5 against Iowa State. I think they win this game by a field goal.
I need to make up some ground, so I'm going to take Iowa State here in this game. And plus, I can't bring myself to root for Cincinnati after they took our 1-hour show away yesterday. Game 2, Braden. Number 22, Illinois, the Fighting Illini, 8.5-point favorites at Purdue. The Boilermakers are actually 2-2 this year, so it has not been a bad year for the Boilermakers. Who you got here?
I like Illinois in this game to win, covering 8.5 on the road. Interesting. I mean, we're going to see how good Illinois really is. They beat SC last week at home. I'll take Illinois to cover 8.5. I really don't want to, but I'm going to.
Skyler?
Yeah, I went against them last week. They had an incredible win over USC in the last second, but I think they have some clear advantages heading into this matchup against Purdue. 8.5's a little tough, but I'm going to go with Braden also and take Illinois to cover.
Yeah, I will not be a Purdue, and I will take Illinois as well. Kansas State Wild.
Did you say a Purdue?
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love that. You tell it to Drew Brees?
My friend is a Purdue graduate, so I call him that all the time. Kansas State Wildcats 2-3 taking on the Baylor Bears at 3-2. This game is at Baylor. Baylor 5.5-point favorites is also a 9 a.m. game. Skyler, who do you got?
Yeah, so Kansas State, I think they're finally making the improvements that they need to throughout the season. They had a nice win last week. But going into Baylor, I think that Baylor is going to be able to take advantage of the struggles that the Wildcats have had all season playing at home. So I have to take, Braden, but Baylor to cover.
Braden?
I mean, I very much dislike Baylor, but I kind of need Baylor to win this game because the Frogs have K-State next week. And the Frogs got to play at K-State next week. And the last thing I need to see is Kansas State revitalized with a win on the road to Baylor, where all of a sudden that game matters. I'd rather see them just kind of quit and roll around down the stretch, so I don't have to worry about K-State anymore. I think Baylor is better than K-State is just not very good this year. I think Baylor is better than than what probably people think with Sawyer Robinson. So I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears. I think they cover. I don't think they're really challenged at home against Kansas State. It was just continue to struggle this season.
God, so what are we doing, man? I'm going to go Baylor as well in this game. I think they are the better team over K-State. Braden,
you can get a ticket for that game as low as $8, by the way.
There you go. How about that? Number 9.
What's the San Diego State price tonight?
We didn't get to this because we were focused on something else, and we also had shortened shows. They actually had a sale. I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, $29 tickets.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
On a flash sale.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the
they
secondhand market right now, tickets as low as $60 for Colorado State, San Diego State. You can watch K-State play Baylor in Waco for $8.
There you go.
Continue.
Braden, this is your first pick here. Number 9, Texas at 3-1, 3.5-point favorites against the Florida Gators, who still somehow have not fired their coach. Is he gone at the end of the day, at the end of the week here?
Texas, a 5.5-point favorite on the road. I like them over Florida, even though, I thought Florida was going to play some games tight. because they're a decent football team with a brutal schedule. I think Texas handles business. Plus, if I lose that and it's a reason for Texas to lose, I'll make the emotional hedge bet. I'll go with Texas.
Skyler?
Yeah, I think honestly, to me, Texas isn't quite the dominant team that I was expecting them to be. But I will say that I think they're a far stronger team than Florida. Florida has struggled so much, and just watching that quarterback, he's kind of all over the place. He's super unpredictable. He's struggling to make plays, and I think with seeing that all season, it would be really hard to go ahead and pick the Gators. So I definitely have to go with Texas.
And we are 3 for 4. Gotta love it. All right, Skyler, this one, again, I should probably just write down your pick here. The Vanderbilt Commodores, number 16 in the nation, 5-0, taking on the number 10 Alabama Crimson Tide, tied favored by 10.5. This will be a 12:30 kick on ABC. I'll just start writing Alabama right now.
Well, I'm sure that this one will probably differ on, right? I'm not afraid. I know you guys will probably pick Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt has had a lot of great momentum, but Alabama just beat Georgia at home. They ended a 30-plus game win streak for the Bulldogs. They've got a lot of momentum. They've really started getting things together. I think they've gained a lot of confidence. And this is a revenge game. This game's at home for Alabama. They need to go. They have to win this game. And I think that they need to dominantly win this game to kind of put their mark on the season and make up for some things that happened earlier on in the season and last year. So I think Alabama's going to cover for sure.
Braden?
I got Alabama. 100%. I got Alabama in this game.
I'm shocked.
There's no way Vandy goes down. There's no way Vanderbilt goes down to Tuscaloosa and even competes with Alabama. Vanderbilt might be fake good. I don't care. I don't care that their quarterback's 38 years old.
Alabama's going to win, but Vandy's going to cover. I'm going to take Vanderbilt in this game. Braden, back to you. Boise State at 3-1. Against number 21 Notre Dame, who's 2-2. Now, a 2-2 team may not be the most surprising bit here because the spread is 20.5 for this game. Braden, who do you got?
Boise State usually shows up in big games. I know they lost to USF to start the season. I just feel like Boise State is going to be able to hang with Notre Dame. And Notre Dame has played. They've played good, but not great. They've played a very difficult schedule. Yes, I know. I think Boise State can go up there and punch them in the mouth and keep it close. I don't think Notre Dame wins by 3 touchdowns. I think Boise State covers. I think Notre Dame wins, though, and wins soundly. But 20.5 points is a lot to cover against Boise State.
Skyler?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Notre Dame has just struggled so much this season. I think that they are making improvements and their season is kind of trending up, but I don't think it's trending up enough for them to cover by 20, 21 points. And Boise State, they're not as strong as they were last year, but they're still a strong opponent, and I think they'll be able to hang. I don't think they're going to win the game, but I do think they'll be able to hang, so I'll take Boise State.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I believe in Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame at home, getting their season right, this is going to be one of those games where if they want to be taken seriously and considered, especially if you're talking about a late postseason push, I think this is one of those games they're going to need to win and win big. I'm going to take the Fighting Irish in this game. Skyler, number 24, Virginia, 4-1 against the Louisville Cardinal. They are 4-0. Louisville favored by 6.5 at home. The last of the 12:30 kicks here on ESPN2. Who do you got?
Well, Virginia, they beat Florida State last week. I think that's maybe like the biggest story of college football, the drama with them storming the field and putting the players at danger, whatever. But I think they've got a ton of momentum heading into this week, and I think that that's going to carry through. So I'm going to take Virginia.
Right.
I got Louisville. It's on the road. Well, and Virginia now is looking like they are got a target on their back in the ACC. I've seen good teams go to Louisville and not come out alive. I got Louisville covering. I think Louisville might kick their ass. That might be my bold prediction. Louisville might win by 14 points. I think Louisville handles Virginia.
I have Louisville in this game as well. Braden, Texas Tech, the Red Raiders at number 11, 4-0.
Bang, bang, Red Raiders.
11.5-point favorites against the Houston Cougars at Houston, 4 p.m. kick on ESPN. Who do you got?
Texas Tech's the best team in the Big 12 right now. I mean, it's not even close. They're legit. They did a great job in the portal. They spent a lot of money on their roster. I think they're a big reason why the Big 10 and the SEC are freaking out about conference realignment stuff and playoff automatic qualifiers and everything like that, because the Red Raiders got money to spend. Houston's okay. I think Houston is okay. I don't think they're that particularly good. I mean, they shut out Stephen F. Austin. They handled Rice, big deal. It was kind of tight with Colorado. They go to Oregon State and beat a Beavers team that hasn't won all year by 3 points in Corvallis. I got the Red Raiders in this one. I think they cover easily.
Skyler?
Yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, their defense has looked phenomenal so far this season. They've got an offense capable of putting up a lot of points. I think Houston will try their best to hang with them, and initially they may be able to do that. But I think Texas Tech will pull ahead easily in the second half and definitely cover the spread.
All righty, Skyler, your last up on the first pick here. Number 3, Miami Hurricanes at 4-0, 4.5-point favorites against the number 18 Florida State Seminoles at Florida State, 4:30 start on ABC.
Yeah, well, I've said it already this season. I mean, Carson Beck is doing a great job in Miami. I think a lot of people are kind of over that, but Florida State fell last week, so I kind of anticipate maybe that you're going to start seeing that program fall apart just maybe a little bit. I know, yes, they beat Alabama, but they're kind of on a downtrend now, and I think I'm going to take Miami.
Braden?
And I lost. It's tough to play a conference game on a weeknight on the road. Trust me. It's hard to play a conference game on a weeknight on the road, especially if you're a ranked team against a non-ranked team. I think Florida State beats Miami at home. I think Florida State is the team that gets the Hurricanes. I'm not a huge believer in the Hurricanes. I should be at this point because they're 4-0. They've gone through a nice little schedule of teams that are very formidable. But I like Florida State in this one. Seminole chop. Florida State, I don't know if they win, but I think they make it close. So I'll take them plus 4.5.
I'm going to take Florida State as well. I think the fact that it played at Florida State is what's going to give them that edge to be able to cover. They may or may not win. I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be a close game. Braden, last one here. Mississippi State at 4-1, taking on the number 6 Texas A&M Aggies. Aggies are favored by 15.5.
That just dropped to
home.
16.5.
Oh, there you go. So 16.5. 4:30 start on the SEC network.
I just watched Mississippi State play last week against Tennessee. Now, it was down in Starkville, so who knows if that played a major factor. I mean, they beat Arizona State earlier in the season. They took Tennessee to overtime. I know both of those games are at home. The running back core for Mississippi State's pretty good. And running the football is a big key to win on the road. It's not November yet, where Texas A&M usually falls apart, but I think Mississippi State keeps this one close. I don't think they lose by 16.5. I think this game is maybe a 10-point game in favor of the Aggies. I'll take the Bulldogs plus 16 in the hook.
Skyler?
Yeah, well, I mean, Texas A&M's at home again this week, but I don't really think it helped them all that much last week. So I thought that was going to be a big advantage for them. And yes, they won, but it really wasn't as dominant of a win as I thought it was going to be. And I made a pretty bold statement last week saying that Mississippi State is maybe one of the worst teams in the SEC. And then they went and looked pretty good, honestly. I really enjoyed watching that game. So I don't think I can go against Mississippi State for 2 weeks in a row. And I think I got to redeem myself after that statement last week. So I got to take the Bulldogs on this one.
I am going to go with Mississippi State as well. Just last up here, this is not a part of the official picks. And Braden and I will talk about this coming up in the next hour. Colorado State playing San Diego State tonight at Snapdragon Stadium. Skyler, take your pick.
I'll take the Aztecs.
Yeah,
not a part of the official.
This
picks.
one has been hard for me because I feel like every time I'm going with the home team, something happens. So part of me wants to take Colorado State just to give the Aztecs some luck, but my heart can't go against the home team, so I'll take the Aztecs.
And Braden, you said San
I
Diego
think
State.
Aztecs are better than Colorado State. 6.5 at home. The way that they played against Cal, I mean, shoot, they could probably hammer Colorado State. Hopefully that's the case. Aztecs haven't given up a point yet at home.
Yep.
Maybe that's a factor. Another shutout at home. We'll see. That game's tonight, 7:30 on CBS Sports Network. Should be a good one. Aztecs and Rams. Skyler, thanks again for joining us. We always appreciate it on a Friday this time instead of a Thursday. Good luck to her. Good luck to Frank on our picks. When we come back, get back to the phone calls on Padres baseball in the next hour. We'll talk Aztec football, high school football, and Drake Hills will join us to finish up the show. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station, 97 to the Fan. Welcome back to the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We didn't get to our midday sports standoff because we wanted to talk a lot of Padres with you. If you want to give us a phone call on the Padres, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Tough loss last night to finish the season, get eliminated from the playoffs with the 3-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. So we're now in off-season Padres into full football mode. But if you were able to take me down, we haven't been able to play it this week. We'll resume again next week. Our midday sports stand-up prize at the end of the month is a chance to win our grand prize, a trip to see the Eagles at Sphere Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on January 30th. 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, a Vibe VIP package, and a gas card. Eagles have added 2026 shows to the band's residency at Sphere in Las Vegas on Friday, January 23rd, Saturday, January 24th, Friday, January 30th, and Saturday, January 31st. The residency now features a total of 48 shows from Friday, September 20th through Saturday, January 31st. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Now, that being said, I think this was the last week for that one. So if you qualified this month, congratulations. You don't have to compete with anybody else. It's one of these guys. Oh, no, Gonzo, don't do that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We got a lot of football to get to. We want to talk about high school and college football in the next segment. Drake Hills will join us in the 1:30 spot. But it's time to get to our NFL whip around, Frank.
That it is another week of the NFL coming up. This will be week number 5 of the National Football League season. We started off last night with an overtime game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Rams dropping that game 26-23, final in overtime. Any thoughts from that game as you look out the window at your team that has too much energy?
Oh, yeah, they're bouncing off the walls. We got to calm them down a little bit. Teenagers, 68 of them, having a monitor. The interesting thing is, like, from my window, I can see everybody going up and down the elevator. It's all Cathedral people, just all over the place. There's 3 different teams here, by the way.
Wow.
The hotel's sold out. There's like a high school basketball team, girls basketball team from Crean Lutherans here, and I think there's like another team here of some kind.
Jesus.
But I'll digress. Hey, you know what? Traveling sports time. Hey, here we go. All right. Last night's game, I watched a little bit on the plane. Not bad for Kyron Williams and Christian McCaffrey, 2 products of Braden Surprenant fantasy teams. They looked pretty good last night. Kyron Williams coughed up the ball going in the end zone. Could have been the game-sealing touchdown for the Rams. Instead, they fall to the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers look just as fine without Brock Purdy as they do with Brock Purdy. Anybody want to bring that up? Anybody want to talk about that? I mean, Mac Jones is doing just as much as Brock Purdy would do. No? Nobody wants to talk about that? All right, we'll move on then. Niners improved to 4-1 on the year. Rams 3-2. I think the Rams are a good football team. They got to kind of work out some kinks, but they're going to be a team that's going to be there in the playoffs at the end of the season. All right, moving on to the next game.
Yeah, they're a couple possessions away from being one of the best teams in the NFL record-wise. First game coming up on Sunday. This is again another international game for the Minnesota Vikings. 2-2 going up against the Cleveland Browns at 1-3. 3.5-point favorites are the Vikings. Who do you got here as this one goes to London?
I'll take the Vikings. They've been in Europe for the 2 weeks now.
Yep, they have.
I'll take Minnesota against Cleveland in this particular game. Let me know how that game goes because the game will probably kick off at 6 in the morning, Frank. So it's your turn to watch the Vikings. I didn't make the rules.
Brother, if you think I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday, you got another thing coming.
It's your turn to watch. It's
No,
not my
it
fault.
ain't. No, it ain't.
You should have watched them 2 weeks ago when they didn't have to play at 6 in the morning. Who are you taking, the Vikings or the Saints?
I'm taking the Vikings. Browns
All right, tell me
defensive
how the game
tackle
goes.
Mason Graham will record his first full sack as a pro.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, good on
I'll
you.
buy it.
3-1 Las Vegas Raiders versus the Indianapolis Colts at 1-3. Yeah. Okay. 1-3 Raiders.
The Raiders are
3-1
1-3.
Colts.
The Colts are 3-1. Dyslexia at an all-time high.
Dyslexics of the world on
It's
tie.
1 o'clock on a Friday. Yep, there you go.
6.5-point favorite
It's a
of the
Friday.
Colts.
Let's go. All right, 6.5-point favorite. I'll take the Colts. Raiders suck.
I'll take the Colts as well. Raiders tight end Brock Bowers will record under 30 receiving yards in this game.
Sell that.
I'm gonna
Bowers hasn't put up big numbers since injuring his knee in week 1, and the Colts look like a particularly tough opponent. I sell that.
Yeah,
He'll get more than 30 yards.
Sell that as well. The 1-2-1 Dallas Cowboys in New York to take on the Jetropolitans, who are 0-4. Jets are giving 2.5 here.
I'll take the Cowboys. Cowboys offense is legit. Cowboys defense is paper mache. But I still think the Cowboys are going to be able to move the ball up and down the field way more than the Jets are. Cowboys win in a shootout over the Jets in New York.
Cowboys linebacker Jack Sanborn will lead the league in tackles this week. By yourself.
Sure. I'll buy it. Going to be on the field a lot.
The 2-2 Denver Broncos taking on the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles favored by 3.5.
I'll take the Eagles. I know the Eagles have been like kind of sneaking out of games here, but I think the Eagles are better than the Broncos in this particular game. I'll take the Eagles.
I agree. It's going to be hard to pick against the Eagles until you see somebody do it. Broncos edge rusher Jonathan Cooper will record at least a sack against the Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson this week.
I'll buy it.
Okay, fair enough. The 3-1, 1-3, wishful thinking on my part.
Reading are hard.
New York Giants versus the 0-4 New Orleans Saints. In New Orleans, the Saints are favored by 1.5. That's a little rude, don't you think?
Reading hard is
why
Frank.
Why you gotta...
Talking like Yoda.
Yeah,
you like the Yoda impersonation? That was pretty good.
That was
pretty good.
Especially since you're on a little bit of a video delay, so I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, that's cool.
The Yoda impersonation. All right, I got the Giants in this game. The Saints are beyond brutal. They are so bad. I think they're poorly coached. I don't think they have. I mean, they're just so bad. And the unfortunate thing is they got 2 San Diego kids on their team, but they suck. They are the Aints. The Aints. I don't know why they're favored in this game. Giants actually look pretty decent with Jackson Dart against the Chargers, a good football team that they beat at home. Saints suck. Give me the Giants. I think it's a good survivor pick this week, which means it probably will be a Saints win and then it'll blow everybody out of their pools. But moving on.
I'm taking the New York Football Giants as well. The Giants will deliver double-digit quarterback hits in a win on Sunday. So they will hit Spencer
Saints
Rattler or whoever more than 10 times.
Spencer Rattler's terrible. He's terrible. He hasn't won a start yet.
No.
Did they replaced him last week, didn't they?
I
think they did.
I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, he's got to get smashed, and they're going to be on the field a lot. And I have a couple of guys in fantasy on the Saints. They're cursed. They're trash. It's awful.
The Miami Dolphins, who are 1-3, taking on the Carolina Panthers, who are also 1-3. Panthers are giving 1.5 at home.
I'll take the Panthers. Dolphins are not good either. The only win is because they got to play the Jets last week. Was that Monday Night Football? What a waste of a Monday Night Football game, by the way. Jets and Dolphins. Tyreek Hill out for the year. That's like their only saving grace down there in Miami. I'll take the Panthers plus 1.5.
Any Jet game on Monday night is a waste of a Monday night game. Panthers.
So are Giants games. Moving on.
I didn't disagree with you. Panthers wide receiver McMillan will catch multiple passes of 15 air yards or more after having caught exactly one such pass in each of the first 4 games.
Yes, this is the team to do it. This is the team to do it against. I think McMillan has a big coming out party this week.
Those were a lot of words that in their own, I know what they mean, but in that order, I could care less. The 1-3 Houston Texans taking on the 1-3 Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are the home dog here by 2.5 points.
I got the Ravens.
Yeah, you gotta go Baltimore.
Houston's not very good. Baltimore. I know Baltimore's not been good, but they're better than Houston. Houston's been just awful. Houston finally got a win last week against Tennessee. Tennessee's terrible.
Worse than they are.
That'll be the next game on the list. Yeah, I got Baltimore.
Ravens running back Derrick Henry will record a season-high 22-plus rush attempts.
Yes, because they're going to be up and they're going to feed him the rock.
Yep.
Buy it.
0-4 Tennessee Titans taking on the 2-2 Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 7.5 in the desert.
I'll take the Cardinals in this one. Tennessee has yet to show that they are capable of competing with anybody right now. And as their quarterback said, if I'm going to keep it buck, we ass. That's exactly what the Titans are. They're ass. They suck. Moving on.
Cardinals running back Michael Carter will record 80 or more rushing yards.
Yes, I will buy that. They obviously do not have James Conner. I think he's going to get an opportunity, him and Amari DiMercato. So I'm going to go with I'll buy that. Titans defense is very lackluster.
All right, now we're getting into the legitimate 3-1s here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 3-1 Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 3.5 at home.
I'll take Seattle. I like Seattle at home in this game. Tampa Bay's been okay. They really coughed that one up against Philadelphia on Sunday. Yeah. They had to come all the way back. They were down early, had to come all the way back, and then they couldn't hang on to beat the Eagles. Long travel for Tampa going to Seattle. I'll take the Seahawks by 3.5.
I'm going to take Tampa, actually. I have a feeling about Tampa.
I want to mix it up. Yeah, I like it.
Seahawks edge rusher, Boy Math.
Let's just buy it. It's so crazy. Let's just buy it.
Cool.
Record a 25% pass rush win rate or better. Wow. Sure.
Hold on. I got it. I got this one. Hold on here. Where is it? I know it's here.
Where is it?
I know we have it because I'm the one that cut it. Where is it?
Oh man. Here we go.
Yep, here it is. You're a nerd too. Yeah, the whole Goose Gossage nerd bit there. The Detroit Lions at 3-1 taking on the 2-2 Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals giving 10.5 at home.
They're getting 10.5.
Yeah, getting 10.
They're not giving the Lions.
I know.
It's been a rough segment for you.
Shut up, man.
You okay?
I'm not used to this 4-hour show gimmick anymore. Had a week of 1-hour shows. Like, what are we doing?
Oh man, poor Frank.
My brain is off.
Wiped out.
I haven't had to work. I haven't had to work past 1 o'clock all week.
I got Detroit. Cincinnati has looked so bad without Joe Burrow. And here's the thing. I mean, they got weapons all over the place, but this is why receivers are called a dime a dozen. You want to know why? Because if the O-line can't block, they can't get the ball anyway. So does it really matter if you have Jamar Chase? Does it really matter if you have T. Higgins? If you don't have anybody that can keep your quarterback upright? No, it doesn't really matter. Jake Browning has not been very good for the Bengals. When is friend of the show, friend of the Braden Surprenant show, Brett Rippon, going to get an opportunity in Cincinnati? I'm tired of watching Browning play quarterback for the Bengals. They have been awful.
The big question, the most important question, though, will Browning have a plus 60 QBR?
No.
Well, there you go.
No, he won't. Not against the Lions.
The 2-2 Washington Commanders taking on the 3-1 Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers favored at home by 2.5.
We'll take the Chargers. They've been better. They're good. They choked it away last week. That was a typical Chargers loss. This will be a typical Chargers win where they beat the Commanders at home. Jaden Daniels should be coming back. He's been hurt the first couple of weeks of the season. I will sell the complete fewer than 10 passes to wide receivers. I think he will have more than that. No Terry McLaurin in that game for Washington. I like the Chargers.
Sunday night football, the 2-2 New England Patriots taking on the 4-0 wish the Toronto Blue Jays a successful ALDS Buffalo Bills. Bills favored by 7.5 at home.
Take that, Yankees fans. I'll take the Bills over the Pats. Pats have been better. I think the Pats are going to be pretty decent with Drake May. They're still trying to build over there. Mike Vrabel's first year. I will take the Bills minus 7.5. They're way better than than New England.
Patriots rookie running back Trayvon Henderson will record 64 or more rushing yards. That's a very specific number.
Doubling his current career high. I'll buy that. 64 rushing yards is not a lot. He could probably get that.
Monday night.
Plus, Ramondre Stevenson's a fumbler, so we got to give the ball to somebody. Monday night game.
Monday Night Football, the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars 3.5-point dogs at home.
I'll take the Chiefs.
I will.
Where do the Chiefs play?
Jacksonville on Monday. Jaguars slot corner Jordan Lewis will not allow a single reception to Chief wide receivers Hollywood Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster while covering them.
Sell it. They're going to get some catches against him. I'm going to sell that. That is today's NFL whip around. Thank you, Frank, for that. When we come back, we got some high school football, San Diego State football to talk about. If you want to talk Padres, give us a phone call, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Finishing up the show with Drake Hills to talk some soccer at the end of the show as well. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97th The Fan. Football talk on 97 through the fans, presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series Tulsa King this season. Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Talking about Padres baseball today in the first 2.5 hours on the show. It's a little bit of football talk here. If you want to call in about your feelings about the Padres, give us a phone call. We will take it on the air. Now, when we come back, Drake Hills will join us to talk a little San Diego FC. Before that, we do want to talk about high school football and San Diego State football tonight. Another packed Friday night under the lights in San Diego. 10 huge games on the slate tonight. Let's take a dive into some of the best games in San Diego. We'll start in the Avocado League, Avocado West League, where it doesn't get bigger than this. Number 4, La Costa Canyon at number 3, Mission Hills. Both teams are 5-0. Kickoff will be at 7:15 up in San Marcos at Mission Hills High School. La Costa Canyon quarterback Quinn Roth has thrown for 950 yards and 12 touchdowns, and he's got weapons everywhere. Kobe Herman with 661 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns, plus Jackson McGorry and Lennox Marucci. On the outside, the Mavericks have outscored big play receiver, or the Mavericks have outscored their opponents 217-78. Mission Hills, though, is just as tough. They're led by Penn State commit Troy Hune at quarterback and big play receiver Mizell Quackenbush. Grizzlies have outscored their foes 180-40. 2 top 25 teams in California, both undefeated. Something's got to give tonight in San Marcos. I like La Costa Canyon in this game over Mission Hills. In the Central League, it's Claremont at 1-5, at Canyon Hills 2-3. Claremont's lone win came over Vincent Memorial, while the Rattlers lean on their stingy defense. They've only allowed 87 points on the season. I like Canyon Hills in this one over in Tierra Santa. Over in the City League, it's Crawford at 1-4, taking on Hoover, who's 3-2. Early kickoff at 6:30. Hoover's dual threat quarterback Ezekiel Manuel has been spectacular. He's got 1,212 passing yards, 422 rushing yards, and 18 total touchdowns. Crawford counters that with Khalid Ali in the backfield and receiver Colin Hunt. I like Hoover to take down Crawford tonight in the City League. Out in the Eastern League in the City Conference, this is a big one. Point Loma, 5-0 on the season, looking to continue their undefeated season as they go down to San Diego High, who only has 1 loss, and that is to top 10 ranked Rancho Bernardo last week. They went to overtime in that game where RB survived against San Diego High. Point Loma are unbeaten behind 2A star Romeo Carter, who's committed to Boise State. He already has 9 receiving touchdowns. San Diego's Jaden Harris has thrown for 810 yards, and do-it-all wideout Kai Cooper, the son of Stephen Cooper, has 39 catches, 491 yards, plus 39 tackles on defense. The Cavers are coming off a tough overtime loss to Rancho Bernardo last week. Point Loma has San Diego High this week to try to continue their undefeated season. They will host Cathedral Catholic next week. Out in the East County in the Grossmont Hills League, El Cap at 4-2 taking on Steel Canyon, who is a perfect 6-0 out there in Hamul. Vaqueros ride a 4-game win streak led by defensive standouts Spencer Chastang, Bruin Ford, and Lincoln Walker. But Steel Canyon is unbeaten. Quarterback Gavin Kaha has nearly 1,000 passing yards and 10 touchdowns, and the defense is anchored by Luke Rode, Gunnar Minnick, and Vincent Pryor. I like Steel Canyon to continue their undefeated season against El Cap tonight out there in Hamul. In the Grossmont Valley League, Monta Vista will take on West Hills out in Santee. Monta Vista 3-2 on the year. West Hills looking for their first win of the season. Monta Vista stumbled last week against El Cap, while West Hills is still searching for that first win despite some very close games and some close calls. I like the Monarchs to take down the Wolfpack. Also, out in East County, in the Grossmont Valley League, Valhalla at 1-4, taking on Grossmont at 4-1. Valhalla has been outscored this season, 171-28 since week 1. Grossmont has shifted gears this year, 687 yards to the air, 794 on the ground. This is a team that has had some very impressive passing numbers over the last handful of years under their head coach and Anthony Lawrence, former Grossmont Foothiller himself, or should I say Grossmont Foothiller alumni, I like the Foothillers to improve to 5-1 with a victory over the Norsemen tonight. In non-league action, Rancho Buena Vista, the Stampede Longhorns taking on Mira Mesa over at the Mecca. Mira Mesa 3-2 on the year. RBV is 3-3. RVB quarterback Van Piercy has 712 yards passing, and the Longhorns are chasing their first winning season since 2017. Mira Mesa started off hot at 3-0, but has been outscored 86-13 in the past 2 weeks. Of course, dropping that game to Scripps Ranch 50-0. I do have the Mecca this week, though, at Mira Mesa. I think Mira Mesa takes down RBV. Another big game up in the North County. San Marcos 7 in the county, 4-1 at Oceanside is 2-3. Oceanside coming off of a big win against Mount Miguel last week. They'll kick this game off at 7:15. Night Star Zamar Reese has piled up 1,154 yards of offense and 12 touchdowns, while quarterback Crete McKeely has 877 in the air. Oceanside sophomore quarterback Anthony Barcanero has 1,061 yards through the air, and the Pirates are coming off back-to-back wins over Helix and Mount Miguel. I think Oceanside makes this one close against San Marcos, but I will take San Marcos in this game over the Pirates. Finally, we got tonight's matchup that I will be at up here in the Bay Area. State level showdown. Number 2, Cathedral Catholic in San Diego. Number 13 in the state of California, taking on Concord de La Salle. De La Salle is ranked number 19 in the country at 5-0. Both teams are 5-0. Cathedral quarterback Brady Palmer, who is committed to Cal Berkeley, 1,190 yards passing and 11 touchdowns. Honor Falave Johnson, Willie Flores, and Isaac Cook do give the Dons some balance everywhere, but De La Salle is a national power. They're led by Braden Knight at quarterback, North Carolina commit Jaden Jefferson, and Deuce Jones-Drew is a great running back for Concord de La Salle, just like his dad, who also represented Concord de La Salle. I don't know if you've heard of this guy's name before. NFL star Maurice Jones-Drew. Yeah, it's his son Deuce. That's the starting running back for the Spartans now. Both teams are ranked in the top 15 in California. True heavyweight matchup for you up here in the Bay Area. Again, Concord de La Salle ranked 19 in the country. So we'll see what Cathedral Catholic has in store in this particular game up here in the Bay Area. That's your Friday night high school football preview. 10 games, tons of star power, and plenty on the line as league play starts to heat up. Frank, we're going to talk about the Aztecs and we get to some phone calls. I think it's probably get to some phone calls here, and let's people talk a little bit about the Padres. Let's get out to Ollie in Spring Valley. Ollie, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call, B-Serp. Hey, I just want to give a quick take on Fernando Tatis. This act that he's pulling, I'm not feeling it, man. The guy's supposed to be the face of the Padres. But when things don't go his way, he's moping, pouting, just really dragging the energy down. That's not leadership. That's dead weight. Honestly, I'd rather see this team built around Merrill. At least the kid plays with some hustle. He looks hungry, So, anyways, that's my take.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, Ollie. Yeah, I think a lot of people were concerned about Fernando this season. Obviously, not a terrible year statistically, but not what we've seen out of Fernando in the past. I mean, it wasn't as much of the, fun Fernando that we've seen. I think a lot of people would like to see him get back to that, and Ollie's right. I mean, he is the guy that's supposed to be the face of the franchise. He should be a lot better in the postseason, and hopefully next year will be a little bit better. I mean, you're not going to trade him. You're not going to DFA the guy. You just got to try to help him get back to where he was before this season in terms of just the way he's been. And I think that's fair criticism from the fans. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Martin and Santee. Martin, what's going on?
Gentlemen, good Friday to you. It's, let's start this morning. The sun came up. We live in San Diego. The Padres made the playoffs. There's a lot of good to be taken out of it, and Braden totally get it with the idea that they didn't make it, fail, yes. But the same old thing, runners in scoring position, they couldn't make it happen. It played right through the playoffs. But I'm optimistic about next year already. It was challenging. It was tough. It was sad the way they finished, but man, oh man, it was a solid season. And again, I agree with you totally on bringing Preller back and the idea, our outfield is already set next year. 3 of the 4 positions in the infield are set. Catcher is set. We need another starting pitcher. Joe Musgrove's coming back, but the sun will come out tomorrow again. So anyway, good luck to Olympian and certainly Cathedral in your games today. I appreciate you always taking my call, and we're good to go. We'll get there. We'll get there. So guys, take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to Monday.
Looking forward to it, Martin. Thanks again for the phone call. Really appreciate it. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. I want to mention a couple other games in the San Diego section that are going to be pretty good tonight. Poway at El Camino. Both teams are 2-3. Both teams ranked in the top 25 in San Diego, according to Max Preps. Torrey Pines at Carlsbad's a good one tonight at 7:15 as well. Rancho Bernardo at Del Norte is a great game tonight at 7:15. Again, so many games you can go out and support local high school football here in town. There's a lot of great football games out there in your local neighborhood. If you want to check out the full schedule, it's on maxpreps.com. You can also find it in the San Diego Union Tribune on their website as well. St. Augustine is at Madison tonight. That will be a good one. Mission Bay tries to stay undefeated as they take on Patrick Henry tonight. That game will be at Mission Bay High School. Mount Miguel hosting Helix is a fun one in the East County. So there's a lot of great games being played throughout San Diego County this evening. That's going to be fun. And then you get out to Imperial County, because this is part of the San Diego section. Imperial 6-0 at Central 6-0. That's a fun one out there in Imperial County. Want to get back to your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Anthony and Escondido, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Good afternoon, you guys. So just want to give a quick take, with the leadership, with Machado and Tatis, and they are pretty much the face, but at the same time, we got to be able to produce, which as the game went differently according to how with the Xander Bogaerts striking out on that, who knows? But at the end of the day, I think this year there was some flaws, but you know what? We did well, and I'm definitely happy how this team turned out. So I will always have faith in our team, and I know they can do it. And I appreciate taking my phone call, by the way.
Absolutely, Anthony. We appreciate you making that phone call. Good positive take right there. Let's get back to the phones. David in San Diego, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, David?
Not too much, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, one thing I wanted to say, the ABS, I wasn't a big fan of it. Didn't think I would be until after watching that game with that missed ball call that we had. But I'll tell you what, I can't wait for next year to have that, because I would have loved to have seen how that game would have played out if that call wouldn't have been made. So I really can't wait for that. Can't wait for next year's season. Also, too, Braden, I wanted to say I'm a charter bus driver in San Diego, and I've driven you all school many times, your teams. And that bill at Chipotle, be honest with you, with that many kids, you're looking at about $2,500. I've seen it many times, and it is so fun. It is so fun to roll up with 2 buses full of kids, coaches, everything. You just see the look on them employees in there going, what on God's green earth is going to happen to us? So that's what you
We've
guys
done
are
it
looking
before
at
a lot.
right there.
That's right. We've done it a lot before with In and Out and stuff. And David, if you drive one of our buses, please say hi. We appreciate you you guys helping us out. And no buses up here. It's super expensive up here in the Bay Area to try to charter the bus. So we went with the vans this time. I will say this, and David brings up, we got to get to a break because we got to get Drake on and talk about some soccer one-on-one. Everybody's saying they can't wait for ABS. Just wait for next year. Next year in the postseason, Frank, you ready for this? You're gonna hate this. The opposing team is up to bat, called strike 3 on a pitch out of the zone. They do the ABS, flip it on the Padres, and all of a sudden disaster happens, and everybody's like, where's the human element in baseball? This is BS. Come on. I don't like this ABS crap. That would be our luck at this point. I mean, you got to laugh. You laugh to prevent yourself from crying. You know what else you do to boost your spirits? You talk with Drake Hills. Drake Hills will get you right, man. When we come back, we'll talk with Drake, get you to Soccer 101, San Diego FC, get ready for the postseason. We'll talk about that when we come back, get more of your Padres phone calls. We got time to finish up the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Okay, so listen, fall is coming, which means this is the moment to plant your yard just like my family does. Hey everyone, Tony Gwynn Jr. here, and I'm telling you, Moon Valley Nurseries has you covered. They're the growers. They literally grow the trees, plants, shrubs on their own farms right here in Southern California. So they're already ready for your yard. You pick it, they design it, they plant it, you just enjoy it. I mean, why wait? Thousands of trees are ready right now. Call Moon Valley Nurseries or visit them online today at moonvalleynurseries.com.
Jack here. Did you know my $3.49 sourdough scramblers are available all day? Toasted sourdough with bacon or sausage, scrambled eggs, and melty cheese. Yum. All for just $3.49. Get so much more. Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
Welcome to Talking About.
This hour is brought to you by the new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage.
All guests on 97 through the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline, facing criminal charges. Trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. And to finish up our week, like we always do on a Friday, talking some soccer with Drake Hills. He is a contributing writer for Black Players for Change. He also is a contributing writer for ESPN.com, covering soccer throughout the United States. A lot of international stuff as well, as we get you ready for some San Diego FC action. They will be in Houston this weekend to take on the Houston Dynamo. They will then take on the Portland Timbers on October 18th. And that's it for the regular season. San Diego FC will now dive into the postseason, and we need to learn a little bit about how the postseason kind of works for San Diego FC. So we will talk to Drake about that. But Drake, how's your Friday going?
It's going awesome. I mean, early start. You got to love a Friday. It's always interesting. I'm in Kearney Mesa. I'm actually not far from the station, and made my way up there to Torrey Pines. And I think it's just interesting. You're up there 6:30 in the morning. It's bright on the east side of the 15. You make your way to the coast, it's like a whole new world. The sun's not out yet. Everything's still dark. People still sleeping. But early bird gets the worm. So here we go. Soccer is back.
We did get a YouTube chat question for you. Did you eat at the remote last week, Drake? How was Baja Rick's?
Hey, let me tell you something about this birria quesadilla. And what else did we have? I think we had
the birria grilled cheese. We had the
Cali B,
the Cali B, and we had the bacon cheeseburger quesadilla or whatever. Like the three things that we got.
The grilled cheese. That's what it was. It's like
the birria grilled cheese. You're a big birria guy, right?
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing. Let me tell you something about Baja Rick's. If I would go there, obviously, pre and post Padres games, but man, if I'm downtown and before I want to go to an SDSU football game, obviously, they're playing tonight. The Aztecs are playing tonight. I know SDFC's on the road, but I would even have a watch party there. Like, can we get a watch party at Baja Rick's? Can we get a San Diego FC playoff game watch party at Baja Rick's? Like, that's the type of place that I want to be in. Quality food, but Big Rick, man, shout out to Baja Rick. That's a solid guy right there.
Great guy. We love talking about Baja Rick. Listen to our segment, and then brought over the food that we were thinking about, dreaming about, drooling about, and it came in clutch. It was awesome. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks again to Baja Ricks for last week. All right, let's talk some soccer. Tough one for San Diego FC. Last week, again, it was their last, home game against San Jose. They dropped 1-0. Still same issues without the having a main striker on the team. What did you see out of that contest against San Jose?
I saw a typical final third of a season issue, right? Yeah, I think this isn't specific to SDFC. Typical, you dominate possession. They had about 61% possession. They outshot San Jose, both on target and total. They had the better quality chances. Their XG, their expected goals, which measures the quality of the scoring chance that you can create, was double, almost triple that of San Jose. And San Jose, rightfully so, and in their own right, they have Espinoza, they have Joseph Martinez, they have guys who you would consider to be the out-and-out strikers who can put the ball in the back of the net. But if we're thinking about the body of work here, 2025, San Diego FC should have won that game. They performed like a winner in that game. And that's just the way soccer works sometimes. When you're the one who's on the front foot, you've got the best chances, but you don't convert. And unfortunately, you either drop a point or you put up a goose egg, which is what they did.
We're talking with Drake Hills, who is a contributing writer for Black Players for Change and for ESPN.com, talking some San Diego FC with all of you as we finish up our work week here on a Friday afternoon. All right, let's talk about the finish here. San Diego FC is locked into the playoffs. And looking at their current playoff standings. I mean, maybe something to play for, not really, but getting ready for the postseason. Still got 2 games left. How do you think Mikey Varis and company will attack these next 2 games?
Yeah, so ultimately this is all about matchups at this point. So San Diego FC is guaranteed a top 4 spot. So that means that they are guaranteed to host at least one playoff game in the MLS Cup playoffs. And here's the thing, right? So if we're not to get too ahead of ourselves, but we have to think about, that first round bye where you're not playing in the wild card, which will be on the 22nd. So you're waiting to see what happens in those wild card matches to see who you would play in round 1. And just looking at the standings, you're thinking about teams like a Colorado or a rematch against San Jose at Snapdragon. So those are the 2 teams that you're thinking about. Who knows? I mean, I think Portland, who San Diego will face on the last day of the season, we call it decision day, I think they're safe at number 7 with 44 points. So I think it's really between Dallas. You might even want to say Salt Lake, but it's really between Dallas, San Jose, and Colorado as potentially the teams that you could face in that round 1. So apart from that, I mean, even some of the individual accolades, right? Anders Dreyer, he's the assist leader across all MLS. But then going back to the collective side, Inter Miami last year, they had the record for most points on the road. And San Diego FC could very well break that record. Right now, San Diego FC is at 31 points. They need 37 in order to tie the record that Inter Miami had reached last year. So Inter Miami went 11 wins, 2 losses, 4 ties. That tied the 1998 LA Galaxy for most points earned on the road for an MLS franchise. So there are things to be played for. There are history, playoff positions, but also individual accolades that San Diego can look to when they go down to humid Houston tomorrow.
Definitely humid Houston down in the state of Texas. We're talking with Drake Hills, contributing writer for Black Players for Change, as well as ESPN.com. How did it? We haven't really dove into this too much yet with the MLS playoffs, right? And how the playoffs kind of work. I mean, I know there's certain rounds then play and going home and away, kind of like some series. But how does the MLS playoffs work for all of us new to the MLS with our brand new team?
Yeah, so with the tricky thing, Braden, is that, obviously with expansion having been built up into the 30 teams that we have now, if we're going back to when I first started covering the league, there were, 26, 27 teams. So the playoffs has changed from, going into this decade. But essentially what happens is if you're looking at the standings, you've got both of the top 14 teams, 7 in the West, 7 in the East. They get a spot. But when you're talking about the wild card, what happens is you've got a one-off. Kind of if you were to make it a one-off game in an MLB, you take the best of 3, you make it a one-off. And the winner of that, from both sides, they would go and play the top seed who has the bye. And here's where things get tricky. At round 1, it becomes a best of 3 series. And same thing goes with, we're really on both sides, East and West. But then it switches back to a one-off when you get to the conference semifinals. So that's where, if you're not able to get past a team in round 1, I think that's where a lot of upsets happen. But that's tough. So to break that down, you have 2 single elimination games at the wild card. You have the 8th seed and the 9th seed, both in the East and in the West. And that winner would go and play number 1. Now, when you go down to round 1, you have no ties. There are no aggregate scores. So what happens is the higher seed hosts the first match, then the lower seed, then the higher seed again. So it's basically, you got to win 2 games. Regardless of how you win, you got to win them. And then you go to the semifinal, or the conference semifinal, that goes back to single elimination. So that's 1 versus 8 or 9. We'll play 4 versus 5. 3 versus 6. We'll play 2 versus 7. And the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. But I think it's always tough getting into that round 1. Not to beat a dead horse here, but when it's a best of 3, it's really who is the hottest team. And it's not necessarily the team that you would think if you're going back to what happened last year. Obviously, Inter Miami They win the Supporters Shield. They have the best record overall. They have the best home record. And unfortunately, you see a team like LA Galaxy who goes the distance, but even more of a surprise was the New York Red Bulls, who are making all the way to MLS Cup last year. So ultimately, it's all about who has the hottest team, who can be healthy, and who can get that home field advantage.
Yeah, pretty crazy format. Wild card round, as you mentioned, the 8 versus the 9, and single elimination match. Winner gets to go play the number 1 seed, and then you get to the first round, which is best of 3, and then it's all single elimination tournament after that. And that's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to that. Drake, we always appreciate the time. We're running out of time here on a Friday. We'll talk more with you next week, recapping how they did against Houston and getting ready for the last last regular season game for San Diego FC against Houston. And then it's going to be all MLS playoffs. I know you got the day off tomorrow. I know not have to worry about the Oregon Ducks tomorrow. Feeling good after last week, huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, but I got to share some of that love for you. I know what happened in Tempe last weekend, but hopefully the Horned Frogs, they got to redeem themselves.
They got Dion tomorrow night at it's a 4:30 kickoff out here on the West Coast. It's the blackout game because it's a night game. They do the blackout cancer game. They're going to wear all black top to bottom, and we'll see how the boys do against Colorado, their favorites. But Drake, appreciate the time as always.
All right, thanks, Braden.
Drake Hill is joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Frank Marchese, hold it down in studio back there in San Diego. I got to get ready very quickly here for a high school football game coming up later on. I will talk to you guys on Monday as we continue our post-mortem coverage of the San Diego Padres. Gwen and Chris coming up next. San Diego Summer Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. Bye-bye.